This is 9 to Noon with Schmidt and Sarya.
Oh, I love 9 to Noon.
Bill Schmidt.
I think it's going to be extremely fun.
And Armin Sarya.
Oh, man, I don't know. I hope I can live up to the hype.
9 to Noon is brought to you by Screamin' Sicilian, premium craft frozen pizza, a Palermo's family of brands.
Unbelievably fantastic, man. I love to listen to your show.
Join the show now on the NicoletLaw.com talk and text line. Welcome to 9 to Noon.
Welcome in. It is Schmidt and Sarian and Schmidt. Still 9 to Noon at this moment, but that is going to potentially change.
At this moment, we are. Yes.
Yes. That is Armin Sarian. I'm Billy Schmidt. You Nooners are all on the NicoletLaw.com talk and text line 877-794-1973. Ruckus. Rambunctious edition of the program here today. We're going to have Matt Schneidman joining us in a matter of minutes, 25 minutes from right now.
Did you say ruckus?
Oh, yeah.
I think you meant raucous. I don't mean to be that guy. I guess I just was.
Oh, okay.
Raucous.
Raucous, because we start where Armin and I got into a heated, fired up,
It's just the same heated
Matt
battle we
Miller
always do.
infused argument before we start the radio program.
Yes, he infused it. You know, like those vodkas you can get with
And
the
he's
different
so
flavorings.
good, and it's one of the reasons why I love Matt Miller, because they were digging into his college football takes. Matt Miller's got takes.
He's
all right?
got great takes. You know,
People pigeonhole Matt
they
Miller into
pigeonhole
an
him.
entertainment side.
you know, they think he's only talking about entertainment
No,
and movies
no,
and shows.
no,
you know, you get
no.
the annoying guys like me who constantly want him to revisit, you know,
Full
Summer Catch,
House.
Full House. Like, I ask him once a month, you know, are you sure Summer Catch was really as bad as everyone always says it is?
He's
Can we
like,
wa-
yes.
He's like, yes, Armin. I'm not watching it again. Yes, it was bad.
You're on your 7th season of Love is Blind. This one's still not that good. That's exactly what we think that he drops in here with.
He still claims I only like Summer Catch so much because it was like came out in like '98 and Jessica Biel was in it, and I was like, 15.
I would have thought I have no clue what it was. I would have thought it was just a spin-off of Jersey Shore, and that's why you liked it
No,
so
it's a
much.
different deal. And there was a movie. It was a movie about the Cape Cod League baseball.
Okay, well,
With Jessica
maybe
Biel.
the Cape Cod League, why you
Brittany
like it so
Murphy.
much is because Bob Costas started there. Because there's nobody that you cape up for outside of a Wisconsin sports figure more than the snooze fest that has become Bob Costas.
I'm not saying he's not a snooze fest now. I even said when he decided to hang it up from MLB play-by. First of all, play-by-play was never his thing. Okay, not really.
But just force feed him into play-by-play.
Well, Marv had to leave for a while, if you
Okay.
remember, and he took over for Marv, and he did a pretty admirable job when he was younger. Now he's a little bit older now, all right, and yes,
little bit.
he wasn't catching everyone's imagination doing MLB play-by-play. I get it. Okay, and then yes, we're gonna start here. I understand he wasn't, but you can't tell me that his commentary, his setups, the studio work in the '90s, his opus masterpieces
Awesome.
weren't
Sweet.
awesome.
Great.
And if you don't think it was
Fantastic.
awesome,
Congratulations.
I'm gonna be this guy. You just didn't live through it then. All right,
Yeah,
the
we
right
didn't
way.
need this. We don't need. We did. Okay, everybody did live through it. We don't need Bob Costas anymore.
You're a little younger. I'm just saying.
Correct. But you know what? YouTube has lived in the back room over here in the Schrader Solutions locker room for a long time.
It has,
And
and
I've
I
heard
love
the
it.
walk in to game 6 of the 93 finals
It was
1,800 times.
It was supposed
it was
to be a
bone
coronation.
chilling, and it was the same pace on every single thing you said. And we're leading into another Jordan win, and everybody's going to be excited, and nobody's ever going to say anything bad about him. It's just like the whole 90s bullshit gets wrapped in, and
It's
Bob
not
Costas
just about
just
the
gets
Bulls.
the glaze that Mike Jordan just eats off of it. Fantastic stuff. It's amazing how that works.
I'm just saying it was awesome. Okay, at the time he knew how to set it up. The reason we started is he was talking about college football matchups, and Matt was talking about how he was going to Notre Dame, Florida State. And I said, you guys know when I grew up, like in '93, the Notre Dame Florida State game was like the colossal matchup of all matchups.
That was it.
We didn't back then, Billy. You couldn't guarantee games against great teams.
No,
You couldn't. There was no playoff.
there was
Obviously,
no 12-team playoff.
But
There was
even
no
regular season.
conferences where all the best teams in college football played each other somewhere in
Notre
different
Dame,
spots.
I mean, to this point, but Notre Dame obviously is an independent, would make their own schedule. So Florida State's on the schedule. You just hope. And Bob Costas had the most. That was like the most opus masterpiece open of all Bob Costas opens. Was the open to the '93
Goody.
Florida State Notre Dame matchup, which was, I mean, it was legendary. You know, Aaron Taylor, Super Bowl champion for the Packers, was in that game.
There you go.
I just it just brought back good memories. And you know what, Billy? Some people like the drama, the pageantry, the artistry. It was fun. All right. And thank you, Bob, for all those good. I'm not gonna forget the good things he did. Just because I remember him in the Brewers car,
thinking that a fly ball into medium left field is gone off the bat of Aaron Judge. Yeah, that's the tough part.
I remember when the Brewers and the Rockies were playing in the playoffs in
Jesus Aguilera. Aguilera, that was a great one. Marcus in Iowa was weighing in. Oh, what is this? What did this become? A Don't Be That Guy Thursday on 9 to noon?
Yes,
I'm going to
be that guy Thursday.
Don't be that guy.
That's right.
And I'm going to be that guy right now, saying I am very, very glad that we're done with the Bob Costas. I'm glad that that's going to be off the television for right now.
Another celebration, a three-peat, a dynasty. Instead, we only
Oh man!
Oh wow! Oh my goodness! Yeah.
Hey, take that off the windows.
Wow! I don't know how I would have enjoyed that game 30 years ago if it wasn't for that electrifying lead-in.
So you're saying you don't spend entire
That was
days
just amazing
just
stuff. That was just unbelievable lead-in for it. PK and Rubicon. Bob Costas is ass. I'm 100% with Billy here.
Okay, in what sense is he ass? I understand that you don't
You
like.
want to get this man fired up. You want to get him very, very irked.
You're
and it is one of my
childhood.
favorite things to be able to do. You and Nick Wright. Now, you usually aren't siding with Nick Wright on a whole lot of things.
But I'm not disagreeing with him all the time either.
Nick Wright said everybody that's of a certain age, myself, shut your damn mouths. It's Bob Costas. He's one of the greatest of all time. You just shut up and enjoy it. I just can't do that.
I think people
I just won't.
Don't separate the play-by-play Jim Costas from the rest of the sports broadcasting professionals, Bob Costas. And that's the issue. Now, you're right. Yeah, Nick Wright, do I always agree with him? Not really. But here's the thing, Billy. Sometimes we agree.
That's true.
I'm not going to tell you, I'm not going to tell you like, oh, you just don't get it. You were too young and all that. I hate being that guy. But like,
you can.
It's just that we all have a crucible of understanding when we grow up, like our childhood. We all have that memory that's kind of, crystallized.
Sure.
And that was mine. You got yours too for different things. SpongeBob or whatever.
That's a good one. Yeah.
Whatever you
Drake
watch.
and Josh. Chris Berman, I think from a sports perspective.
NFL Countdown, right?
Yeah, I could definitely
I
could see a vast majority of younger people, like the kids that I'm coaching in high school, at some point being like, what on earth is this guy yelling out boom for?
Boom, right? Or back, or or stumbling, bumbling, rumbling, bumbling.
Yeah.
And NFL primetime was the show. I mean, just like that's certain people's generation, right? But you're going to have people say, you're so old, coach. Coach Billy's so old, and then you're going to feel hurt a little bit.
Here 414 goes, and yet Billy defends Al Michaels.
Well,
that was a massive part of it. Now I will put my flag right in the camp of Al Michaels because there's a number of reasons why you love Al Michaels.
Sure.
All the electrifying calls that he has made, fantastic. Sure.
Yes.
I don't disagree with the Zabanites' frustration with Al Michaels. Because Zabe's the first person that I've heard really call this to the forefront of Al potentially snoozing through third quarter games that are close.
Yes, but he's also an old guy now.
But Al's going to be fired up tonight. Al's going to be fired up tonight. Ravens-Bengals, are you kidding me?
Oh, yeah, we're finally
This is a great game that we get here tonight. He's going to be ready to go.
God brought us a great matchup on Thursday night. Yeah.
I also, one of the reasons why Al Michaels gets the elite tag and always will and always, I don't believe can be taken out of it in my perspective, is my man is just waiting for the 14-ounce ribeye that he's having at halftime.
He wants a steak, no vegetables.
I'm having no vegetables. I'm getting
steak.
An amazing steak. Everyone's going to come in, hang out with Al Michaels. You're going to wheel that beautiful table over here. Nice white tablecloth. Guy's awesome. So that part of it, the flex gets Al Michaels launched into a different stratosphere for me.
Fair enough. And play-by-play wise, he's kind of sleepier than he used to be. He's an old guy now, but that doesn't mean it's still a fine call. And it doesn't affect my enjoyment of the game like it does for Zabe. That's the difference for me. It's like Brent Musburger's final days of doing broadcasting and sports broadcasting. I love Brent. Okay. Now the Brent thing is like there's a gambling reference that we always enjoyed with Brent's stuff. Brent Musburger always, before it was more taboo, he would make little references to it, right? So that was an entertaining thing. Like we were talking about the Packers-Lions recently, about the old Packers-Lions games. We were talking about the 94 playoffs where the Packers held Barry Sanders to -1 yard in Lambeau. Packers won that game 16-12. Great game. Packers took a safety to finish the game out. It was a 4th down, it was like 5 seconds. So the final was 16-12, not 16-10. It's entertaining. My point in all this is it's entertaining to grow up watching those games again, realizing that I didn't realize before of all the things Brent was talking about in terms of gambling references, Billy.
Oh, fair.
Like
yeah.
he made a big deal at the end.
You weren't picking that part of it all up.
I want to make this very clear to everybody that the final score is 16-12. This is very important. The final score is 16-12 in this game. And I'm like, okay, I didn't get it, obviously, as a 10-year-old, why it was so important to point
and
out.
here he's fist pumping up top because he had the
Clearly
over
it was-
knew that it was happening.
Yeah, or it's 4.5 probably or something like that.
Oh, that could
you
be
know,
it,
5,
too.
you know, whatever it was.
And then in the later stages of his career, his last run with the Raiders, he's yelling jackpot Vegas, baby, for the win.
Now he can do it. See, he lived long enough to see that the culture change on sports gambling. You know, which is a good thing, I think, which is a good thing. I know we went in a totally different direction here for 12 minutes. I'm sorry if that's my fault for defending my childhood. And
Trust
Bob
me, I
Costas.
would not listen. What we're doing right now is what people can expect. Heat,
True. I mean,
intensity, passion, and fun. Now,
I love it.
that all starts with what today is ultimately what we're going to need from our collection of nooners on the NicoletLaw.com talking text line, which is already fired up. Roy in 608. Brent Musburger sucks. Bob Costas and Al Michaels are great. People dropping their takes on that.
Have a take.
Have a take.
Hey, bring it.
Just checking in the 608. Costas rocked. I was born in 1955, but Bob was pretty good. Now, pretty good. He's dropping a few in there.
Multiple pretties.
Really cheering on his
Yeah.
boy Costas. At least, so there's multiple people that are telling me to shut my mouth. But what we're really going to need is, Armin, we had a long conversation yesterday.
Long conversation. Yeah. A good one, but it was long. Yeah.
Armin and I got pulled into the boss's offices.
Uh-oh.
And after a week like this, you guys can all assume that there were some hesitations, some moments of what the heck's going on here. We've been told it's Armin and Billy going forward.
We're doing this thing.
We're doing
this thing.
It's
We
you and
got
I.
now we're driving the bus, right?
We're driving the bus.
Now we're driving the bus. Okay. All right. Well,
we have
that's
not been
good.
told that we need any supervision. We have not been told that we need anybody else coming in here to take over for us. It is going to be the Armin and Billy show going forward. However, they don't like the Armin and Billy. They need something different.
They didn't want to just say that.
They didn't
like,
want to just say Armin and Billy.
Or Billy and Schmidt and Sarian or something like that.
And I said, for what you guys have done and for how amazing the product has been,
Yeah.
and the beautiful attachment and the what we have been able to do on 9 to Noon.
Sure.
It feels weird putting on this sweater of 9 to Noon when it just doesn't feel the same. Right? It doesn't feel the same.
It doesn't feel the same. We both have said that all week.
There's two
be the same,
gaping
yeah.
parts of this that are gone, that originated with it.
Right.
And we think we need a fresh coat of paint in this house.
Right.
So we're taking over the house and we need a fresh coat of paint.
Fresh coat of paint, which is a good thing. It doesn't mean the old paint was bad. Doesn't mean
But
we're
it's
gonna
not
forget
our
the old
house.
paint. Right.
But
yeah.
it's not just our house.
Right.
It's our house.
Ours.
So this show, 9 to Noon, has been so successful because of the Nooners on the NicoletLaw.com talking
It's been
text
the
line.
people's show. Yeah. Right.
So
No
I
doubt
think
about
we're
it.
ultimately going to have the people help us out with this because we potentially shot down a number of different ideas yesterday.
Yeah, we did.
We also pitched a number of ideas that got shot down. And we have a creative bunch of Nooners here.
Create a bunch of Nooners here, and we had a creative building here too. But the Nooners are creative, so I was. We should just let's just do this. Let's let them give us ideas.
Give us some help
Yeah.
and give us some suggestions
We
to
need
go to our
ideas.
bosses with for the new Armin and Billy show here on 9 to Noon.
Let the people decide. You know what I mean?
And we're some
Well-
underdogs. We're some scrappers. We're some fighters. Some would say that we're the future.
Well, I like that too.
Some would say that we're the future.
Yeah,
Some would say still here. Oh, it's the guys that are still here.
still here. I like that.
Still
too.
here is a possibility.
So yeah, just give us your ideas for names.
So we want to hear what we should be calling this program going forward.
Let's just do this. Yeah, let's just do this together.
It's 877-794-1973.
Why not? Right.
A lot of ideas. We got called into the boss's office yesterday.
No bad ideas.
There are no bad ideas.
No, we're gonna write them all down and we'll decide. We'll help decide.
And
Everything. you
JB
give
in the
us.
920 says, "Cool. I guess I can just burn my Nooner jersey."
No, that you were.
That's the furthest thing from what this
furthest
is.
thing. We're not saying that. No, the Nooner
That gets hung in the rafters
forever. It's retired. It's not retired. It's not that you're retiring it.
Not
You're-
gone. This
you're
is
you're
retiring.
forever. It's a legacy that will never be matched.
It's
right?
one of the benchmark pillars, starts of the show, starts of the radio station, And that name is going to get hung in the rafters for generations.
Generations. Yeah.
But it's time to get a fresh coat of paint. So
That's
we need
all.
some help.
Right.
And we need the folks on the NicoletLaw.com talking text line to help us out, because now we brought up some ideas
My notepad.
And
here.
we
I'm gonna
had-
write all these down.
and
here.
we had some suggestions. Now, the lovely and talented Lara Sarian came up with what Kevin Brandt, star of the Drew and KB show, thought of may have been the best idea.
Yes.
The Sports Talk Radio show with Billy and Armin.
Yes. I'm not kidding you. She did. And you know what? It wasn't that bad, actually. That I think
Actually
about it.
got a rambunctious conversation started back there, and KB was loving it. So that's
Loved
a
it.
possibility. Now,
I got my notepad right here. We're just writing every name down you guys give us. All right. We're going to give ideas for names. But yes, Laura did. I said, what do you I said, what do you think about a new name? She goes, what about the Sports Talk Show with Billy and Armin?
I think, you know what? Hey, it's got legs. It's got legs.
Yeah.
You know what you're getting.
What about sports? What about sports chat? What about
Sports chat.
What about talking balls? You know,
Now, Dudes on Dudes is taken.
it's taken.
It's taken.
You know what? I mean, Dudes on Dudes was right on top of mine, and they
Because
just
we're dudes.
they swept in and undercut me. You got me, Gronk.
and we get on Dudes, pause.
Yeah, you got me, Gronk, on that
He
one.
got
You
us.
just
He
got
got
us.
us
You
just in the nick
got
of
us.
time. That's what we were thinking. How about Midday BS with Billy and Sarian?
Well, that's a good one.
That one I like a little bit
BS.
better than, you could call it ass,
Did someone say?
Armin, Sarian, and Schmid.
Hey, that's not bad.
I mean, it's got a ring
I thought
to
they
it.
were just making fun of us. Okay.
No, it's got a ring to it.
I
It's
like
got
Mark.
an idea.
I like Mark's idea. Call it Billy and the Little. I'm not going to say that on the air.
Oh yeah. The
Oh,
little bit.
Oh,
yeah.
I get it, Mark. You're making fun of me.
Still here
Good one.
squared, or still here with S squared. Now we thought of maybe the squad, because Nooters,
Squad.
you also need to be a part of this, right?
You
Like
are.
this is where, and again,
We're not going to.
I got real drunk on some high noons. So every time I kept
Oh,
saying
yeah.
Nooners, I kept thinking that it was those black cherry high noons that I was drinking way too many of.
Sure, of course.
But it's a great tag for everybody else. Welcome to the squad. Then you're all a part of the squad. Talking smack, Brent from Franklin. There are some suggestions rolling through
Talking
here.
smack. That's good. Talking. I'm writing them down. I'm just trying to write them down as fast as I can.
Jules
The
from
thing is,
Milwaukee.
you got-
Armin and Billy get their resumes updated.
Could be called the resume.
Could be the
Could
resume.
be the resume. It'd be good.
That could be. It would be better than the facility. See, so there's a lot of
Yeah,
names
yeah,
out there
what's
that
up?
you got to figure out what on earth are they telling us. So we need your help, and we're gonna get all the help that we can.
Yes, we
we're
are.
crowdsourcing the potential new name of this new radio program. Armin Sarian, Billy Schmid, Sarian and Schmid, statewide on the game each and every day
Yeah.
from 9 to noon. Matt Schneidman, you think he's going to be able to pitch us
I'm
any ideas?
going to ask him. He's going to be like, you guys serious? You're actually asking me what to name? I mean, listen, we're just going to do this together. That's
Chad
just
and
what it is.
Kewaskum, A and B for 3
What's the 3 part?
3 hours.
Oh,
9 to noon is
yeah.
3 hours.
Oh,
A
okay.
and B for 3.
It's a long name. A and B for. It's like a 5-syllable.
Nooner Nation Sports Talk Radio.
Nooner Nation.
That's from Spike.
well, I
Brunch
guess-
time with Billy and Armin from Michael and Appleton.
I like this. Give us serious names. Give us. You can make fun of us. You can joke around. If you want to try and hurt us still on the third day, you can keep trying to hurt us.
We would like that. Yes.
Christian in Milwaukee, yes. Okay, just keep the shots coming,
Maddie
I
in
guess.
Milwaukee. How about Morning Mischief with Billy and Armin?
Derek and Watchoma,
Okay.
Indeed.com. You want to make fun of us? You want to do that? Whatever. I mean,
A lot
whatever.
of good ones in here. Fire them in. 877-794-1973. It's happening.
The leftovers?
It's rolling through here. The leftovers a possibility. Those guys are still here. That could be the sports scene. Squad 9 to noon. Coach G likes it.
Ooh.
877-794-1973. We got a lot to roll through here and continue on. Matt Schneidman might give us a suggestion when he
Please.
joins us next. Here, talk some bye-week Packers football and some NFL football as well. Matt LePay, bye-weeking, not a thing in November for Matt LePay. He stops by in 40 minutes from right now. He will give us a thoughtful suggestion. I can already believe the 11-time Sportscaster of the Year has a plan for us as to what we could do. And also, how annoying does it get when people ask, hey, you off this week? No, actually, I got 3 games.
Can't
I
wait
just
to
started
ask
the
him
other
that.
season.
Yeah, I can't wait to ask him that.
No, I just started having to deal with Butchie 3 times a week.
The fun has just started.
It's just begun from Matt LePay, and the fun has just started with Armin Sari and Billy Schmid. Schmid and Sarian, the show right here, 9 to noon. For now, on the game, we'll be back with Matt Schneidman on the other side, and you on the NicoletLaw.com talking text line. Stay with us. You got the game.
Why don't you say the things that you said to me yesterday? I know you said that I was doing the things. Something's going down, that's the way it seems. The reason why you acting strange. Nobody's holding you back from me. When you're saying everything to me times 2. I need you to stop. If somebody's dead, then tell me who. Say my name, say my name. Say my name is around.
Billboard, baby, do a leap and make them dance when they come on. Everybody looking for a dance floor to run on.
If you wanna run away with me, I know a galaxy and I can take you for a ride. I had a premonition that we fell into a rhythm with the
All right, we got a couple of elite ideas and a number of different ideas. I like just so many suggestions, and the Nooners are doing exactly,
Great
Armin,
one.
what we need them to
So
do.
we want what we need, what we
Fire
appreciate.
up some ideas. How about Brewer Bruce? We talk too much.
Oh, that's the name of the
That
show?
would be the name of the show. We
I
talk
thought-
too much.
I thought we were just
I
getting
like
feedback.
that idea. Could be the Young Guns, the Young Bucks, or Full of Schmid.
Full of Schmid's
Full of
pretty good.
Schmid. I think there's a lot of different
Yeah.
ideas that we could find in here, and a lot of good play on words to drop a cuss word in there, which is something that I am very, very much a fan of.
Well, like for you, Matt, you know, the Matt Schneidman Show's a great name, obvious name. It's very
Yeah, it took a long time to come up with that
But
one.
you know what? I always thought like off the schneid would be a good, because that was always a term. Like you're off the schneid, like you had a slump. But is
Oh,
that too referential to like?
Yeah, Matt
inside-
Schneidman, would that be similar to us calling the show the Bench Warmers from 9 to noon? How do you think that one would play out?
I like that, actually. That's a good one.
There we
And not
go.
only is it the title of my second favorite movie of all time,
Yeah.
but it's a good one.
What's number
So I
one?
have to ask what's number one. Yeah.
Happy Gilmore.
Okay,
That's a
yeah,
nice-
I
that's a
can't. I
nice
can't
number
argue
one.
with that. I'm very, very glad that Bench Warmers is as high up on your list as it is. And who's that kid over there eating sunblock on the bench? Matt, there's a lot
That
of
was
different.
Howie.
There's a lot of different things that we could enjoy during the bye week. NFL tonight's going to be one with Ravens and Bengals. It's nice to be able to get a big game here. But yesterday we got some audio to roll through with Preston Smith admitting that he had requested a trade. So there's that smoke that I asked a week and a half ago of where's all this coming from? Apparently it was coming from Preston Smith, as he said yesterday
Yeah,
when he
but,
introduced to the Steelers.
you know, I don't know the exact timeline of events, and at this point, it doesn't really matter. But
Sure.
my first thought was, okay, which came first? Preston Smith requests the trade, and then the Packers took calls on him, as Ian Rappaport reported, or did Preston Smith get word that the Packers were taking calls on him and said, you know what? You don't force me out. I want out.
Yeah.
And
That's a
then
good
it
way
was
to put
kind
it.
of a reaction to, oh, you don't want me? Then I don't want to be here.
Yeah. It's the
And,
old.
and either way is fine. It's not like trashing him.
Sure.
He didn't feel he was a good scheme fit. You know, he played the first 9 years in the league for himself in a 3-4. Now he's in a 4-3. He feels he's better standing up than with his hand in the dirt, and more power to him. He's not like he got shipped off to some bum team. They're 6-2. So I don't think there's any bad blood between the two sides.
No, I think it's one of the more mutual breakup situations. That's the joke, right? Like I didn't
Mhm.
break up with you. You didn't dump me. I broke up with you first. It's like the preemptive breakup, right? In Seinfeld, but it's like, right.
The guy tried to do that on Love is Blind this year. He got dumped, and then he's like, oh, no, it was a mutual
It was a
thing.
mutual thing. Yeah. You're trying to save face. In reality, you're right. It's probably one of the best mutual. I mean, the Packers felt like they weren't getting value, but they got something for him, and he can go to a situation where he hopefully can play better. I appreciated being honest about it, to be really, Matt, because most guys aren't, and most times these days people want to create a problem when there isn't one. But Aaron Campbell went through this. I know when Dom Capers first came on that he felt more comfortable in a 4-3, not the 3-4. It is what it is, but it's a good time to appreciate what Preston gave the Packers. I mean, you talk about, a lot of guys, that free agent class was really great. He was the one that really lasted. I think he only missed one game as a Packer. He was incredibly durable.
He's only missed
reliable.
one game ever in his
Ever.
career.
And he was productive, consistently productive. I mean, I wouldn't say he had any DPOY peak years, but he was consistently productive. Where other guys that might have flashed higher in that time, like Za'Darius, were not as consistently productive. And he was always a good leader and locker room guy from your experience, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think 12 sacks the first year. Then he kind of had a dip with 4 in
Right.
2020, but then he had like 8.5, 8, 9. So he was never going to be the Za'Darius Pro Bowl level, even though in 2019 he had 12 sacks.
Sure.
I think Za'Darius was a Pro Bowler twice, but Preston Smith was always just a solid complementary piece. And at times he had to be the number one piece on that edge rusher group. So I think, he was liked in the locker room from what I saw. He was probably the loudest person in the locker room every single day. And I think the guys liked him. And, this season, the production just wasn't there.
Well, and it's difficult to also lose one of your number one corners when Jair Alexander's down.
I've never heard that joke before.
Right. I can only imagine that meme was just littered
How many
across
times?
yesterday.
How many? The best part was everyone was finding the different screenshots.
You
there was
got to
the
find
one-
a couple of
There
them.
was the one against the Vikings, but then
Yep.
what was the other game?
Tay-
Raiders.
when
Yeah,
against
Raiders
the Raiders.
last
So
Oh,
it
yeah.
was just so funny. But you know what? in a weird way, it showed he was athletic. He was versatile. It's not what you wanted.
No, that's not what it
that's
showed.
not.
That's not what it showed.
I was just
It
trying to-
showed-
It showed, and it's not even.
just trying to be positive about something. Okay, yeah, you're right.
It
I
showed
mean,
his versatility. Get out of here.
I'm not saying he was a real good, like a real corner. I'm not saying he
No,
could
it was
actually
what they were
position.
asking him to do.
Armin
That's what I
Devontae
mean.
Adams had 18 yards of separation on that slant, and he was only 4 yards away from Preston Smith. There was nothing about his versatility. He's not a
Devontae,
corner.
you just said Devontae.
Yeah.
But my point is, it wasn't necessarily.
You're right.
I wouldn't even say it was a Joe Barry thing. It's just sometimes the other team catches you out.
it
Because
catches
you're
bad
wrong
matchup.
in
They win.
the personnel you put out there. Like Aaron Jones would be matched up against a linebacker sometimes. That's the same thing. Like sometimes the other team just gets you.
Get the mismatch.
They like
yeah.
to say it sometimes the other team's the last one on the chalkboard, and they beat you on that side of it. So, Matt, going into the second half of the season, what this also does for the defense, it allows for a lot of people are calling for Lucas Van Ness, and I know that was one thing that we had brought up earlier on in the week. However, Aaron Mosby gets on the field for the first time really this year, it feels like. Brenton Cox, I don't know when he takes the red shirt off, but it feels like he's still in the midst of red shirt seasons. Could this be those guys getting more opportunities, or are we looking at solely Lucas Van Ness?
No, I think it's a mix of both. I think it's more opportunities for Gary, Van Ness, and JJ. That's what Goody pretty much said. He said, Preston snaps are going to go to those guys, and maybe each of their snap counts goes up by a couple percents. And I also think Aaron Mosby and Brenton Cox Jr. are going to get some looks. Now, they both have to be active now. Brenton Cox Jr. has not yet been active this season, but Goody basically said on Tuesday, both of those guys, we're going to get a look at them. And Aaron Mosby, I don't know if he overpowered Penei Sewell. Penei Sewell tripped over.
Threw him
the right
over.
Guard.
Tossed him over. Highest paid guy in football. Just
No.
tossed him over.
No, Penei Sewell tripped over the right guard. So it's still half a sack in the book. So credit to him.
Counts.
But 7 defensive snaps for him this season, 0 for Brenton Cox Jr. I'm still skeptical about this move. Not that Preston was lighting it up by any means, but just because you're going to have a hard time, replicating the, 50% of the defensive snaps he played just with guys that have experience. And you're going to have to rely on 2 guys that have barely played, if at all, this year.
Yeah, but they must have been comfortable with the idea. I mean, you're right. He played a lot of snaps, but he was kind of just playing them. I hate to say that. I mean, but the Packers must have been comfortable with the idea of getting these guys more playing time. And sometimes that's how guys develop and break out, right? So I don't, when everyone was saying, well, they're clearing this spot and they're doing this to make another big move.
Well, but
I
did
didn't
you think
expect
that it was that they believe there could have been another big move? Because that would be controversial. That would go against what Goody kind of said to you guys on Tuesday.
Yeah, I didn't think so, but I thought they needed to make one. That's why I tweeted right after the trade news dropped that they got to add an edge rusher now, just because I don't think you can rely on Aaron Mosby and Brenton Cox to play all those snaps. You just can't. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'll be proven wrong, but I was not surprised that they didn't make another move. I just thought they should have.
Yeah, and it's rare that you find a team that is in a 6-3 team that ends up subtracting from their ball club. That's just a rarity of it. It's also, Matt, rare that you would trade your most veteran, oldest guy in that locker room when a week ago, when we're on Packers OT, a caller call in and say, man, I think one of the reasons why they're making all these mistakes is because they have so many young guys. I don't believe that's the case. However, just on the surface, it would appear the youngest team in football gets even younger in this situation when you take away the oldest guy that's actually playing 11 on 11 outside of the kicker.
Yeah, I think this was a move for future financial flexibility. Goody said we had some guys we wanted to see play. Unless Aaron Mosby's just absolutely lighting up the first team offensive line in practice, then I think this is just a move with future financial flexibility in mind. A GM's job is not just to play for the present, it's to play for the future. So even though you're 6-3, I think you can still make moves for the future while not subtracting too much from the present. And they must have thought that Preston Smith was producing so little this season that
they weren't going to lose.
They were fine getting rid of him, while also helping themselves out in the future.
Yeah, this is definitely not the old bites at the apple Josh Hader midseason trade, right? Really, it's like someone tried comparing that to first the Brewers trade Hader and first, and the Packers are trading. I don't think it's the same thing.
No,
I know it's not all about sacks, right? And those types of numbers. Like too many times, I think we simplify the quality of a linebacker or defensive lineman or edge just based on how many sacks they had, right? I mean, how much are you impacting plays? How much are you impacting pressures and stuff? But it just didn't seem like those things were happening with Preston. So I guess you give the young guys a shot. You're okay. You get the financial flexibility. You get the draft pick, and you move on.
So, Matt, Doug from Lisbon has a message here on the NicolayLaw.com talking text line. He says the packages that are missing, if they don't get somebody to show up in the middle area of the field, we cannot stop anything over the middle of the field from 8 to 12 yards. It's been our Achilles heel for the last 15 plus years. It's ridiculous. Come on, guys, address that elephant in the room as to why they can't sure up the middle area of the defense, especially the linebacker area.
I would say their linebackers are the best they've been since I've been here under Matt LaFleur.
Yeah, I think there's a little bit of a simplistic revisionist history there. For the last 15 years, we haven't covered anything in the middle of the field.
But the tough thing is, and guys, when we watch a lot of football, you can see, Matt, and you're going to be able to watch a bunch of it over the weekend. And maybe it happens when we only watch one team. That is a lot of times where the rest of the league is attacking teams as well.
Soft underbelly, yeah.
Is that not an accurate depiction of it?
I mean, with the new trend of playing a lot of too high in this league, teams are having to just take what's given to them over the middle because teams aren't letting other teams beat them deep. So, yeah, there is a lot of stuff going over the middle. There was that extended stretch of time 2 seasons ago where the Packers couldn't defend a crossing route to save their lives, and that was different. But I think you're seeing a lot more, of these short completions over the middle. Jared Goff only threw 2 passes of at least 15 air yards last week. It's just not the way defenses play you anymore. They take away stuff over the top with the, Vic Fangios and the Brandon Staley's, even though, he's not a DC anymore. But I wouldn't say they can't defend over the middle, but I would say that they probably have their best group of linebackers that they've had. And it's not like the best group of linebackers on planet Earth, but between Edgerrin Cooper, Quay Walker, who I think is better than people think, McDuffie's a solid 4th option. Eric Wilson was not good against the Lions, but he's, showed some good things this year. I would say relative to recent years, the Packers linebacker room is actually pretty decent.
Yeah, I would contend that as well, that this is one of the more, especially active in pass coverage groups that they've had there as well. Matt, we appreciate it, man. We'll chop it up tomorrow as well with 3 games going on in the NFC North. Which of those 3 will be the most impactful for the Packers, and which one is the one that you're going to be most excited to be able to tune into coming up this weekend? Because a full weekend of football means Matt Schneidman belly up on the couch just hanging out and snacks, nachos from the microwave and all that kind of stuff.
Or are you continuing to work, Matt? Any big enterprising pieces you're writing or anything like that?
Not as of now, but there will be some in the near future.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's a tease right there.
That's Matt Schneidman of The Athletic and the Matt Schneidman Show that comes up 6 o'clock right here on The Game. Appreciate it, man. We'll talk tomorrow.
Nope, not tonight. Wisconsin basketball.
That's right. Man, you get another day off.
You get a whole hour to come up with names for the show.
It wouldn't be my show anyway. Well, actually, since it's the bye week.
Since the bye week, it would be your show.
So it's Wisconsin basketball.
Hey, let's go. It's pumped to us. No one knows Thursday night show. We
get
to live that Armin life. Appreciate it, man. We'll talk tomorrow.
All right.
That's Matt Schneidman of the Matt Schneidman Show. You'll hear it tomorrow night at 6. You get Wisconsin basketball tonight. We'll hear from the voice of Wisconsin basketball, Matt LePay, in about 20 minutes from right now. It's still 9 to noon right now. That's Armin Sari, and I'm Billy Schmid. This show is getting a facelift, getting a new coat of paint, and you Nooners are getting a new name potentially as well as us. We need you to help us with it at 877-794-1973. The Misguided Youth's on the air.
I saw that one.
Is that one good from Aaron in Carolina?
Why are we misguided?
I mean, I kind of like it.
Well, I like that I'm a youth still. Yeah, I'm getting older.
That's true. Young Bucks feels a little tough when somebody's over 40.
I mean, I hope to be doing the show with you for 30 years, Billy. So
then would we have to rename it once we both start getting AARP cards?
I don't know. They still call Robin Yount the kid. I mean, come on.
That's fair.
He's still the kid.
Because I've seen Billy and the kid in here, and that one's a little difficult.
Yeah.
Because there's a famous person that this is for other reasons.
I like that, though.
I like Mid-Morning Hangover. There's a lot of good ones here. We're hanging out with you on 9 to noon right now, 877-794-1973. Matt LePay in 20 minutes on The Game. Hey, guys, the Underdog Fantasy app is the place to play if you're looking to get in on the game. And the game could be football, basketball, whichever it is. NFL, NBA Pick'em game at Underdog Fantasy is elite. You can make a play for only $1 or go big and try to be a part of the $2 billion won on the Underdog Fantasy app. You can create your own experience. It can be an NFL pick'em game. It can be an NBA pick'em game. It can be a mix between the two. And Underdog puts the power to cash out in your hands. Now you can either keep riding with your entry or tap the win now button to cash out whenever you want. And every dog deserves a second chance with the Underdog Rescues. You can get your money back and receive a promo if an early injury causes your injury or your entry to lose. Like if Joe Burrow in year number 2 going to Baltimore on a Thursday night all of a sudden comes in with a wrist guard on his hand and then all of a sudden is out in the middle of the second quarter, you're going to be all good on the Underdog Fantasy app. This season, Underdog is running a special promo or bonus almost every single day. Like Profit Boost, they pump up your winnings in just a tap when you apply the boost to eligible entries. Discounts, you'll get adjusted projections on certain player stats to give you a better shot at a big W. And free picks, they're basically a sure thing. A player just needs to get higher than a half a point for that pick to win. Plus, all new users get a free pick. So download the app today, sign up with promo code Billy, and deposit now to get up to $1,000 in bonus cash instantly. That's promo code Billy. Must be 18 plus and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. get through every one of them,
A lot
but
of good ones.
remarkable names here on the NicolayLaw.com talking text line for the new Sorry and Schmidt show.
You guys are on your game today. We appreciate that, and you're out there, and you've got the power today. So this is great.
So how
This is
about a
great.
couple of these? How about a couple of these new dad crew from 9 to noon? Jake and Walker.
So
show.
I love it. The only problem is like eventually we're not new dads.
That's true.
Right. So I want this to last. Okay?
Drew Olson came. Yeah, we are hoping that it has a higher shelf
Okay.
life than potentially a certain amount of shows
You
on
know
the
what I mean?
station.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean? You know what I
yeah.
mean?
We want it to have some shelf life.
Yeah. How about dads on dudes or something?
Dads
like
on dads?
Well, actually, it's not good. How about guys on guys? No, I'm just kidding. No, dudes on dudes is
I like-
taken.
I did also like our friend Drew Olson yesterday said, how about morning sickness?
That's great, actually.
Because we're the new dads.
Yeah.
Could fire that one in here.
Except we're not really the morning show. That's Zabe, obviously, with Butch. So it's like we're more
We
midday.
are morning to a certain amount of people.
Well, yeah, and to be honest with you, I wouldn't have gotten up for Zabe's show.
There's
if I
no
was
chance I'm getting up
young.
from 6 to 9.
But
So
I have to now, so I do. But midday, would you say? I mean, we're before noon.
a couple of killers from Dennis and the Shaw. Triggered.
Triggers off. Hold on.
Triggered with Armin and Billy.
I always get triggered.
We can always be triggered.
Okay.
Midday crisis. That's
Instead-
another one that I'm a big fan of.
Instead of midlife crisis.
Midday crisis.
Do you get it? I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, and we'll have a midlife crisis potentially on the show if that continues to work.
The homers, we're not doing that.
Now, I like the program coming in from Nick and Greenfield.
the program. There you
I
go.
like the program a lot because then everybody's a part of the program. You guys are the program.
Yeah.
Because like any good program in college sports, it's about the players. It's not about the coaches.
It's not about the
It's
coaches.
not about the people at the top. It's about all the people putting in the sweat
It's
equity.
about us. It's about holding the rope. You know
So
what
I
mean?
kind of am a fan of that. Take the over with Billy and Armin.
Take the over is good. Take the over is good. If you didn't know, there's a gambling reference there. bro.
I also love the underdogs with Billy and Armin. Both of those coming from Jared in Johnsburg. Both are so energetic, Jeff, in a truck. What about morning sports bomb?
I don't like the connotation, guys, about that. I really don't. I mean, what? Okay, morning sports bomb. I mean, like what? Because we're dropping big kicks,
Boom.
big booms and stuff.
Now, I mean, if we could also get, AJ and the Costco guys to give us some drops for the open.
Well,
They could tell us what we are on the boom scale.
I'm not kind of. I don't know. I don't know if I'm comfortable. Okay, fine.
Showtime with Billy and Armin from the 773.
Showtime. All right. I mean, I'll put
Sports Smack Squad.
it down. I love the
I like the
alliteration.
S's. I love the
Sports
alliteration.
Smack
We
Squad.
love alliteration in
Yeah,
this world.
Sports Smack Squad. All right. Well, Tim's gonna have a lot to go through here.
The
All right.
lineman and the libero.
That's actually hilarious.
Justin, the Uber
That's-
driver.
That's actually hilarious by Justin. See, the problem is, Justin,
I love that
see,
one.
WIA didn't have the libero position when I was playing in high school yet, and that's
So
frustrating.
they just called you back row.
They called you
Back row Sarian.
a defensive specialist, but the problem is libero rules. You could have unlimited subs, so it made you a lot more valuable to play more. I didn't have.
You weren't able to just stay in there the whole
No,
time.
I never played because of that, which makes the bench warmers work. But hey,
Which makes the bench warmer with Billy and the bench warmer work, or the bench warmers, which I also am a big fan of. Justin in North Carolina, Scotty Sports Show.
Scotty
Schmid,
Sports Show.
Schmid and Sarian.
How about
Scotty Sports Show.
I like Schmid and Sharian.
Schmid and Schmarian.
Sharian.
Schmarian.
Schmid
Yeah,
and
there could be a
Sharian.
tough one. How about Balls Deep with Billy and Armin?
There
We're
you
going
go.
deep. I mean, like, there's a lot of
I've
different
heard
ideas that
going-
we could have here.
Yeah, I've heard that one before.
Morning leftovers is a definite possibility. Rise and grind from Lindsay in the 608.
I like Rise and Grind. That's a good one because that's what we're trying to do out here. We're out on our grind, just like the listeners, out there every morning grinding it out. Blue collar workers.
The Worm in Nebraska dropping something that was thrown out by a friend of mine yesterday. The New Age Outlaws.
The
I'm
New
never
Age-
against that.
That's
I'm
a
never
wrestling
against
reference?
taking a wrestling reference.
That's
why the Young Bucks is a very, very good possibility. It's one that could come in here.
Hmm.
And we also, days like today, thank Chat GPT. Because some of these are coming in, like our friend Rorik goes, here are a few names for your friend's sports talk radio show. Packers Power Hour. Billy and Armin, Pack Talk Live.
Okay.
I like Green and Gold Mornings.
Green and Gold Mornings. There
Green
you
and Gold
go.
Mornings does not suck. Like, there's a lot of good opportunities here. The
Look at
Crank
Chat.
Up Crew, the warm up.
How about
All
Crank?
from Ryan in the
How
Wood.
about Crank That?
Hey, if that means that we get to
Yeah.
play It's Going Down or a little bit of
Soulja Boy?
Soldier Boy, I'm definitely a fan of it.
Can't
Sports
sell-
show addiction. I mean, we're definitely addicted to talking sports and hanging out with
Right.
all of you on the NicolayLaw.com talking text line. So that's another
Jess Man.
good possibility.
Jess Man says can't stop, won't stop. I like that one.
David said G League. How about that one?
I think he's making fun of us, but I don't
That is
care.
exactly what he's doing.
I don't care though.
I think it's kind of decent.
Yeah, it's good.
I think it actually ends up working. 877-794-1973. Matt LePay. He might like the rise and grind because Matt LePay is an absolute grinder. This man going in on a bye week, 3 Badger basketball games, and tonight Bucky back on the floor. And the voice of the Wisconsin Badgers, Matt LePay, going to join us coming up before they take on Montana State at the Kohl Center. Matt LePay stops in with us. Sareen and Schmid statewide on the game. on right now. NicolayLaw.com talking text line is open for you at 877-794-1973. Now, Armin, that one felt kind of good. The program sounded decent. Like we could drop that out on here.
That's not bad. I'm not gonna lie.
Hour 2 of our You Name the Show spectacular here on Still 9 to Noon. That's Armin Sari and I'm Billy Schmid.
Yeah, that's what we're doing, Matt. Yeah.
And if you have anybody and you need some creative genius, I know there's a couple of people that I can call. Matt LePay is one of them, and he now is joining us here on the YouTube stream and on X. And Matt, we had a long conversation yesterday. Red Hot bought us pizza. We sat down in the office, and we got the good news that Armin and Billy are going to roll through on the show. But they said, you guys got to change that name. You guys got to do something with it. So you guys got to figure it out. So luckily, we're having our Nooners help us out here today. Wanted to know if you like a couple of these. Midday Crisis.
Not bad.
Let it ride with Armin and Billy.
Let it ride. I'm gonna write that.
Take the over with Billy and Armin.
Let it ride.
Or plus money. Now, shockingly, I know you're stunned that there's a couple of gambling references in there for what this program could potentially get nicknamed into. But would you care to drop in a suggestion for us in this day of reckoning potentially?
Ooh, yeah, this rebranding that's going on here. That's
Oh,
what
yeah.
we call
We're
it these
just doing
days,
it.
right?
We're all in it together. Let's
Rebrand,
just do it.
reboot. We're doing all of it,
Absolutely.
man.
BSing with Armin. How about
See,
that?
That's what I'm talking
you know
about.
what?
I like that one.
BS has been brought up a couple times because you got Bill Schmid, you got Armin and Schmid, you got all those things.
We also got called, Matt, that we could just be called ass.
Yeah, we did.
Armin Sarian and Schmid. So like there's a couple of ideas, and we didn't take that much umbrage to that one, right?
No,
So like
give us anything you got.
yeah,
right now.
give us whatever you got. 877-794-1973.
It's a bye week after all, right? It is a bye week.
It's a
We
bye
got
week for
time
some.
for
It's
some.
not for this man. And I put my foot firmly into my mouth when I asked Matt LePay earlier today if 10 o'clock was going to be good for dancing here on the radio program. He goes, hey, no bye week over here. Grinding. So
Grinder.
Cards Grinders going up against Montana State coming up here tonight. Matt, and you got to grind next to Butchie here for night number 2 of the week. How was night 1 of the 2024 season?
Oh, he was fired up. He had his caffeine going, his energy drinks. He was fired up. Opening night. That's a big holiday for him. He's in heaven now. The basketball's underway.
Cookies are back in the room.
He doesn't wait until March. Pay attention. He's all over it from
Right.
early November on. He's there wire to wire, baby. That's our guy Butchie.
He's fired up, no doubt about it. This is the time he has to wait through. He has to wait through this summer, the fall for college basketball to start. Finally, when he can, be in his elements, And I'm sure if I asked him right now about the Montana State Bobcats, he could give me a full rundown, just like you could, Matt. You have to get started on these guys early, or how does it work? I mean, I know in football you have a bigger roster to go over, right? But the prep work on these teams is still, because smaller conferences, you're getting to know these teams. It's got to be early starts on the prep work, right?
You give it a few days because of what you just said. I mean, it's a team that you never see. They've been in the tournament each of the last 3 years. They were in the first 4 last year, but we don't know much about them. And now I think that's the case with teams, even if they're not in smaller conferences, because of the portal. I mean, it's just so many names have changed. I mean, we used to just think graduation. Well, it's a lot more than that now, or eligibility expiring, put it that way. But rosters have changed so much. I mean, these guys, they have 3 starters back from last year. They've been a solid program for a number of years. But the next game, they play Appalachian State on Sunday morning. Tester for Butchie, 11 a.m. tip. He's got to get up early, make that drive down from Appleton.
It's got to figure the time zones out.
That's going to be a 9 a.m. tip for us in Las Vegas to be able to make
you're going to Vegas. I'm Larrabee in Florida. You're going to Vegas.
We'll have you in a sports book on the iHeart app. We appreciate that, man.
Absolutely, man. I'm not going to miss that coverage. No doubt about it. We'll be there. But you're right. It's one of those you have to get the bed in the night before, because you'll forget to get up in the morning.
Well, Billy would just be up all night.
Yeah, I know that's true.
There's no reason to go to sleep there.
I'm older.
Matt, you do mention though, with the changes of rosters and going in and out and the tough parts of that, you get a couple of guys to stay in the program can always help with Nolan Winter and John Blackwell. And I was listening to Guard last night, and he had mentioned, maybe I should have been playing him in more games last year when he was referencing John Blackwell, of just like the leadership that he's already taken in year 2. How different is that for a team where all of a sudden you're looking at sophomores as, well, they're here for a second consecutive year. They know what we want to be about.
Yeah, I think in the case of Blackwell, guards use the reference not in, play style necessarily, but the confidence, how he carries himself, similar to Johnny Davis from a few years ago, where he just has a belief that, he's the best player on the floor. Now, is that always going to be the case? Probably not, but he has that level of confidence. But on the flip side, teams know about him now. He was a little bit of an unknown last year. He emerged. He shot it really well. He defended. He was one of the big reasons why Connor Essegian didn't play a whole lot, and Connor wasn't entirely healthy, so he's rebooting at Nebraska this year. But yeah, just to have the more continuity you can have, with guys like Steven Crowell back and Nolan Winter back as a sophomore, that's really important. So and I think Blackwell we saw last year, Winter glimpses of, got off to a good start, especially in the second half of the game on Monday night. A little bit stronger. He's never been afraid to mix it up, but he's just got a little bit more bulk to him to do that. But still, with this team, it's going to be a matter of gelling, of blending together the defensive end of the floor every bit as much, if not more so, than the offensive end. The way they started Monday, that was pretty bad. But after the first 8 minutes were out of the way, they settled in, played much better defensively, and won going away.
Well, exactly. I think there's a lot we don't know about this team yet, but I think they're going to be better than people think. I say that because I don't know. I wonder what you think about this. I don't know what fans think of when they think of the Badgers basketball team right now with Greg Gard. There's new faces, obviously, but I keep thinking of when you guys, Billy and Butch, talked to Gard at the Final Four. That interview keeps sticking in my head because there are so many things about this program that are different and innovative, and Coach Gard was pretty blunt about talking about the offense being totally different than what people thought in the past.
True evolution of what they're doing.
Evolution of it. I know that Kirk Penny's been brought in to change the offense and all the things they've been doing, talking about moving forward in the new reality of college sports. And it seems to me, and I remember that so distinctly, that interview, it seems to me Coach Gard has been pretty, foot forward about the evolution in college basketball and the evolution of the program reflecting it. I just don't know. Do you think, Matt, that fans think of that yet when they think of the Badgers, or if they realize how much change internally he's been trying to do to push this program forward?
Yeah, I think in a lot of ways, no, Armin, because I think they view this team as a plotting, run the swing, hold the ball.
Right.
And they really haven't run that in a minute or a few minutes. It's more of a ball, they call it ball screen continuity and
the European model. Yeah.
It's more of that with some of the concepts that Kirk Penny has brought in. And to Greg's credit, he's been receptive to this. He knows that they have to change. Last year, they had their best points per game since Tracy Webster and Michael Finley were running up and down the house in the mid 90s. Now it's like a 75 point a game. It's not 90, but it's a significant jump offensively with what they've done. Yeah, he wants to be, ideally top 5 offensive efficiency, top 20 defensive efficiency. That's a tall order. Last year they scored more points. That Storr kid was pretty good, who's now at Kansas. He could score. Chucky Hepburn, established as a distributor and a defender as a point guard. So I think that the main values, guys, are still the same. They want to be smart on the defensive end. They want to protect the ball, not turn it over, but maybe play with a little bit more pace. That's all relative, but play with a little bit more pace. I just think the path of getting there is different because you have to rely on the portal. And if you can get something out of a true freshman, great. I don't know if they're holding their breath on that, at least in the short term. Maybe over time, a guy like Daniel Freitag will develop and earn minutes on the floor. But you're relying on John Tonje, who's a one-year guy as a transfer.
Yeah.
Xavier Ames, Cameron Hunter, theoretically, can be here longer. At least they'll have eligibility for a little longer time. Goals are the same, but just the way you get there is different from what we're used to seeing here.
And we'll flip it over to football into the bye week here in a couple of seconds. But Matt, you mentioned it, and Armin brings up that conversation. I've had a couple opportunities to talk to Greg, and luckily when Brian's there, you just get to be a fly on the wall and just kind of enjoy the conversation, right? But being able to pick up the understanding and frankly, the frustration that at least appeared from Greg's perspective of, we're really trying to take this thing into the next generation. We're working with it. They are working more towards the forefront of it than keeping themselves back and letting things play out in front. I don't know that Greg gets enough credit for that. And I do appreciate he's wanting to be more of the solution than just griping about the problems in college basketball. And that's something that is different across a bunch of different landscapes. You see coaches that are really successful right now are speaking of it more from a solution-based spot instead of just, these are issues that we got.
Yeah, I don't know if there's any coach that loves what's happening right now in college basketball, but you have to try to make it work. And to Greg's credit, first with his staff, there's a serious Wisconsin flavor there. People who know how things work at the University of Wisconsin, and yet guys who have been elsewhere. Greg Steemsma played in the NBA, was with 2 other NBA teams, most recently with the San Antonio Spurs, in a developmental role. Working with guys like Greg Popovich, and he was with the T-Wolves before that. Kirk Penny, his international experience, but they also know that they have to. I keep using the Brewers reference here because college sports is Major League Baseball in a lot of ways now. With the bigger spenders, they're going to get the best players and have the best, not a guarantee, but the best chance to win. But they know you've got to hit the portal, and you try to create your budget accordingly. And quite frankly, with Greg and his staff, and this goes back, a couple of seasons ago, they're trying to win the next game, but they're also trying to, cultivate people who they know, third-party business folks, to try to build an NIL chest, because the collective was a slog, trying to get that thing up and running. So he kind of took the bull by the horns and said, okay, we got to do this. So in a lot of ways, Wisconsin's been very lucky in areas that maybe the average fan wouldn't see, and I understand that. If they brought in somebody, some Joe Blow from wherever, who has no relationships with fans, donors, all that, this program might be in a world of hurt. It isn't right now, in large part because of what Greg and his staff and bringing in the right kind of guys, what they've been able to do. They've been competitive. Are they as good as they want to be? No, but they go into these games thinking, hey, they got a shot. And we've seen this team at its best in these last couple of years are still pretty good. The key is to sustain that through February and on into March. And they haven't been as fortunate in that area the last 2 years.
I still feel confident that it turns around. And I always get this backlash, and I appreciate when you say stuff like that. Well, you just like Greg. Well, guess what? I do. I do like Greg Gard. I think he's a great guy, but he's also a hell of a basketball coach. And he's done a lot for the university that doesn't get the eyeballs and doesn't get the respect for what he's done for the athletic department. Matt, something that was circling around yesterday online, the next opponent coming into Camp Randall, the number 1 ranked Oregon Ducks, coming up next week. Dan Lanning had a statement to his team in the locker room at Michigan Stadium, and he said, you're going to turn around and yell, "Are you not entertained?" And it's one of the cooler, just chilling videos to be able to watch of a group that just is so bought in to what they got. That's a wagon rolling in here for their first trip. However, man, that is it's always fun to be able to watch the class of college football, and it's going to be a heck of a sight to be able to watch the Oregon Ducks right now, who are rolling number 1 a week from Saturday night.
Yeah, that social media clip reminded me of last year. They I think it was Fox carrying the game when they played Colorado.
Right. Yep.
The locker room talk right before the game. It's like, okay, we'll talk with our pads and so on and so forth, saying it much more emphatically than I just did. But yeah, he brings a lot of swagger. He really does. But more importantly, he brings a lot of really good players. I spent part of the morning looking at those guys, and they got tight ends who look like wide receivers and can run like it. They've got a couple of really good running backs. And the thing that people don't talk about a lot with Oregon is how good the defense is. It's one of the best in the country. I mean, your teams are scoring maybe 15, 16 points on average against these guys. So, they can play pretty ball, but they'll also hit you between the eyes too. I mean, it is a really, really, they've got a little bit of this. As Phil Knight guy's got the dollar.
A little bit. Yeah. They got a decent little amount of cash.
I've heard that.
Yeah. The quarterback who's a legit Heisman contender, Dylan Gabriel, this is stop number 3 for him. He started at Central Florida, was at Oklahoma last year, but the guy can do a little bit of everything. They are loaded, and they went into the year. People talked a lot about Ohio State for all the obvious reasons. They talked about Oregon almost as much, and right now edge to Oregon based on what happened a few weeks ago in Eugene.
So yesterday I came out with a slight gripe. Now, not unexpected gripe on the first CFP rankings, Matt. Indiana comes in at 8. You put Ohio State, Michigan's helmet, Oregon's helmet next to them in their resume. I firmly believe they're a top 4 team in football. However, they're going to get pegged down. And there's a case study of what Georgia did last year. The numbers are pretty identical, and they didn't play anybody. However, they're coming off a national championship. So the preconceived notion as to where they are, is Indiana safe if this doesn't go well next week, right? Like, I mean, they get to host Michigan this week. They're not safe in the college football if it doesn't go well next week.
I don't think so. No, they landed about where I thought they would, in that 8-9 range, and technically they would be a 9 seed because of how it works. So they'd be playing a road game. In the first round of the playoffs. No, and I think the committee can come up with. I get it. Their schedule has been light. Like, what's the signature win? You'd have to is there one? They're going to have their chances. Michigan's not great, but still solid, especially defensively. Not good offensively, but good defensively. And then you go to Ohio State. But no, my fear for them is if they have a hiccup, especially against Michigan. But if they might beat Ohio State, who knows? But let's say they lose in a couple of possessions, between 15, 20 points, whatever. To me that could be a knockout punch for those guys. And I agree with you, Billy, because they can justify. We can make numbers work however we want. But if this was Ohio State rolling through everybody, winning by 40 points a game, which is basically what Indiana's been doing. They'd be ranked higher than where Indiana is right now. That's just, there is no way that they could convince the average fan anything else.
Right. And that's just the reputation Indiana is going to always fight as a football program.
It's Indiana.
It's Indiana. Right.
It's Indiana.
Oh gosh, those memories are terrible.
Sorry, I just had to drop that one on.
No, but you're right. And so the nice thing is they have a chance to prove it on the field for themselves, right? They do. They have a chance to do what they want to do. It's in front of them. It's not like the power's out of their hands now. They have a chance to prove it on the field, which wasn't always the case in college football. I think that was the point of this thing. And that's what we've got now. So it'll be interesting. I keep saying they're going to step on a rake, and they haven't.
Yeah, I thought so, but they got behind early last week. I said, okay, now let's see what happens. But they're going to be interesting to watch the rest of this year and moving forward, because you go back a few years ago, Michigan State, ton of transfers, Mel Tucker there, and they were terrific. And then they just dropped off the table. I think this guy, the Fighting Sigs, they might be a little bit above that. It's going to be. I was telling Drew and KB this a couple weeks ago. Indiana right now is one of those teams, reminds me of the Cinderella in the NCAA tournament. We're going to love them up right now.
Sure.
But we don't want Cinderella really to get past the Sweet 16. We love them that first weekend. We don't want them real deep. And I just, if you're the rights holders, they're a great story right now. But we won't cry if they get beat by Michigan or Ohio State. Kind of knock them out, get them out. They're cute. We don't want them. We don't want them in late January playing for the title.
Eventually, you wanted St. Peter's. You had enough of that. Florida Atlantic. When are you going to lose?
Amen.
I get it. Yeah.
Also, I think the Big Ten would like to be able to have Ohio State, Oregon, or Oregon, Penn State. I think they would like one of those to be that game in Indiana for the Big Ten championship. However, Indianapolis would be a lot of fun if the Hoosiers were in the Big Ten championship.
Yeah, it'd be great theater. And look, they're fun to watch. I get it. I'm still a little bit skeptical, but they've, to win the way they have won, just dominating people, can't ignore that.
Impressive. I did see, Matt, there was already some Penn State folks had put Curt Cignetti into a Penn State sweater, and they're like, we like this a lot better. We like this a lot better. Oh my God, that poor guy, he just can win in 10 games every single year, but you don't win one of those Ohio State Michigan games or an Oregon game, and James Franklin's never having a good night after a Saturday night.
Yeah, they love you until they don't, and it changed in a hurry on Saturday. So what we going with? What's the leader in the clubhouse for your show?
Well, right now,
I have no idea.
There's a couple that are being pushed by upper management that could potentially be the leaders in the clubhouse. Right now, we got the underdogs is in the mix, the club, the squad. Somebody pushed out the power play, but we don't really talk a whole lot of hockey, so we don't think that one's going to potentially break through. But we like the pause because we like to hit the pause button on people.
And
leads dead air, which might not be a good thing.
And the amount of suggestions we're getting are great. It's incredible. We've had so much input here on the NicoletLaw.com talking text line. Even Travis and Walker are right here. It is what it is with Armin and Billy. I mean, hey.
I think we might be able to do better. The morning grinders might be it if Matt LePay was able to hand us an idea. We appreciate it, brother.
Morning grinders, yeah. Well, no suggestion's a bad one, so I can't wait to hear what you guys come up with.
Oh,
Thanks,
listen, we appreciate it, and we like that you say that we come up with, because listen, the smart people are the ones listening that are going to be able to give us something. We appreciate it, man. Enjoy the call here tonight. Enjoy Butchie. Make sure he brings you some of those cookies instead of just eating all of them to himself.
Butchie bringing cookies? Are you crazy? I mean, I wanted to bring some varsity ale. He's been hawking that for a while. So
sorry, that was like Tausch buying dinner last week. I apologize. That wasn't happening.
See you, boys.
That's Matt LePay, the Hall of Fame voice of the Wisconsin Badgers, and Bobcats tonight from Montana State at the Kohl Center. Tip off at 7. Pregame coverage at 6 right here on the game.
Montana State out of the Big Sky, no pushover, Billy. As you know, I like to.
Our guy Luddy loves that.
Watch these teams. Luddy knows all about the Big Sky Conference, and the thing is, you talk about buy games, BUY games. The games that the games that you bring in teams to get the win. You give them a check. A lot of power teams do this, right? But they're not all created equal. Montana State, Appalachian State. Both better than 200 in the KenPom. That's a lot different than a 300. So those things help the computer numbers down the road.
Okay,
so
I like that.
They're not. I expect the Badgers to win these games, but they're not. These teams are not total pushovers.
That'll be a fun one to be able to watch tonight and listen to right here on the game. Average Bros isn't meaning to be insulting. Just you guys weren't in pro sports, but radio all-stars.
See,
I kind of like Average Bros.
I actually like that a lot, man.
Average Bros with Armin and Billy.
Right, I do love that.
More show suggestions coming in on the NicoletLaw.com talking text line 877-794-1973. We have What Does Billy Know coming up on the other side with Tap In Golf Bar. Get your guesses in right now. Armin has come up with some elite questions to fire off here. I didn't seem all that confident. Some questions on the other side by Armin. Sorry, not Billy Schmid. It's still 9 to noon. For now, right here on the game.
Wake me up and tell me everything so I can understand.
Counting Money with Billy and Armin here on the game. How about that one? That's not bad.
Listen, there's a lot that aren't bad. We're getting
Sheila in Milwaukee.
I mean, you guys are really coming through for us. We
Bad
appreciate
beats and
that.
hot takes.
More ways
Lindsay
than
in the
one.
608. Locks and laughs. I actually like that one as well. Decent one. The Degenerates is a decent one, Ron and Stalis.
Locks and Laughs, though, also sounds like a
Sounds like a gambling love podcast.
No, it sounds like a podcast in which you're getting your haircut. The hair
Locks and laughs. Oh yeah, that's fair.
Actually, it's a great idea for a podcast. The Barbershop. Hey, wait a minute. What about the Barbershop? I don't know.
I think that may be used. I think that may be gotten. Oh no, it was the shop. That's
The
what
shop.
LeBron's deal is called. That's what LeBron's one is
Let's
called.
think you're in the barbershop, you're getting your
Yeah.
haircut, and you're doing the podcast while guys are getting their haircut.
Oh, that works out. That was like our spot in Waukesha. It was called Forever Faded. That was the spot to go and get your haircut.
And then
fantastic spot.
Faded, you know, like
Like a fade haircut. Yeah, that's what it was.
I like
yeah,
that.
that's what it was. Nothing else involving faded was a part of the Forever Faded
I don't know what you're
experience.
talking about,
No
so-
ever part of that.
I don't do all that.
877-794-1973, the NicoletLaw.com talk and text line.
All
Get your
right.
guesses in right now. We will close up the talk and text line because we are ready to play What Does Billy Know with Tap In Golf Bar in Waukesha and Sussex. 2 elite locations in Waukesha and in Sussex. TapInGolfBar.com to go and reserve your simulator time, as well as check out what they have going on right now, which is some different tournaments that you can be signing up for, as well as some different packages that are going on right now at Tap In Golf Bar. So go head over to tapingolfbar.com. Black Friday deal will be coming up as well. So keep your eyes peeled to tapingolfbar.com. And What Does Billy Know? Presided by our friend Armin Sari.
All right, now I'm driving the bus. All right.
So I don't think you're going to make fun of your own questions.
That's the big thing here.
Are you pretty excited for the fact that you're not going to get edited while the questions are being asked?
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I was always kind of the fun of it. You know, I was always kind
So,
of the
well,
fun
you
of
can
it.
make fun of your
I still
questions
will.
throughout the
Hey,
bit.
listen, I'm self-deprecating. I don't mind that, but yeah, I never knew kind of where that was going to go. But yeah,
Self-deprecating from 9 to noon. Let's go.
that's not bad actually.
It could be worse.
A little busy.
We've seen worse ideas here.
It's a little busy. All right, Billy, let's just get started here. What
Come
does
on,
Billy
fire 'em
know? I got a topic here. Do you want to even venture a guess what the topic is?
HR departments.
No, it's not that actually. That would have been
very timely.
ironic,
Montana.
Tough to find questions for it. Not Montana. It's Vegas, Billy. Listen, we're 48 hours away
Let's
from being
go.
there. And I know we really can't think about much else. So let's have a little fun. What does Billy know about Las Vegas? All right.
Not a whole heck of a lot. I
Heck,
don't know a whole lot.
You
about
do,
Vegas.
but I'm curious if you know these questions. All right, question 1. Much of the famous Las Vegas Strip is actually not located within the city limits of Las Vegas. What is the name of the unincorporated town it is in?
Paradise, Nevada.
That is Paradise. Well done. You say that all the time on your phone there. For
I
the
was going to
weather.
say it's always that, and on your when you're doing a Snapchat,
Yeah, Paradise. It says
and then you
Paradise.
slide through on the
Right.
different filters, it always says Paradise. I'm like, what? You know what? It is Paradise.
There you go, Billy.
Paradise in a sports
There
book
you go.
never stops for me.
The tallest observation tower in the United States actually is in Las Vegas as well. What's the name of this structure?
The tallest structure.
The tallest observation tower in the U.S. This is according to their Wikipedia. I didn't believe it, but apparently it's true. The tallest observation
Be
tower.
the top of the stratosphere.
The stratosphere. It's correct.
Wow.
Well, there's taller buildings, of course, in the U.S., but
Yeah.
for some reason they say it's the tallest observation tower. I don't know
No,
why.
I will say actually never been in the Strat.
Never been in the Strat as well. We were very close. Last time when Laura and I were there, we're taking our walk. We're in the north. We got out of
You
Peppermill.
made that poor girl while pregnant walk that far.
She was okay with it. I didn't say we had to do it.
Oh
We said,
my
"No." She's
God.
like, I'm fine. She was like 5 months, so it wasn't like
Man, she is a warrior.
I think she enjoyed it, to be honest.
That
with
is
you.
awesome. That is awesome.
I said
Might
we're-
have to get in there. There's some radio stations and
There
radio
are.
studios up there at the top of the stratosphere.
Right.
Feels like
So,
a good spot that we could do this
like-
sometime from.
Like Laura, we're not paying for an Uber. Come on, let's walk.
Yeah,
Just
we're not
kidding.
paying for an Uber. 6-month pregnant wife. Get walking.
She
Put
said-
on your Nikes.
She said she was cool with it.
I got you some LA Gear shoes for a reason. Get walking.
Can you imagine that? All right, 2 out of 2. Good start, Billy. All right, number 3 is an audio question. Audio
Ooh,
question.
Okay,
Billy.
audio question.
What movie is this scene from?
Oh no.
I don't know. It probably wasn't your wheelhouse. So one of my favorite movies.
I've heard it so many times. I've used the clip 1,500 times.
10
in
seconds.
Tweets. I have no clue what it could be from.
All right, I'll just give you an X on that then. If you don't, you can guess if you want. You want to give me a guess? You want to throw out a word?
Oh, a word.
There you go. I'll give you. Yeah, it's in one word.
Casino.
Casino, another great movie. No,
Great Vegas movie.
this was Swingers. Rounders was the poker movie.
That's the poker movie.
Swingers with Vince Vaughn and John Favreau and Patrick Van Horn and Ron Livingston. A lot of the great guys in that. Great movie.
That is such a miss by me.
Nah,
That's
it's all right.
such a miss.
It's all right, but you should watch it again. It'll get you
That's why
fired up.
Tyson and Zilla Washington said Hot Mess Express could be the name of the show.
Hey, HME, I like
We're
that.
writing that one down.
Yeah, don't forget that one.
Let's go with the
Write
next
down.
question.
Opening in 1906 is Hotel Nevada. This is the oldest continuously operating hotel in Las Vegas under its current name. What is it?
Can you give me that one more time?
Yes, opening in 1906 is Hotel Nevada. This is the oldest continuously operating hotel in Las Vegas under this current name. What's the current name?
Under this current name. Okay, so it's definitely changed names before,
Sure.
I'm guessing.
Old, so you can figure where it might be in Vegas. You know, like
Yeah.
not in the strip, right?
Binions was always that. That was how it was open. I'm gonna go with the Golden Gate.
Oh, you got it.
Yes.
Golden Gate. There
That's
it is.
where
Billy.
Drew Olson and I stayed last year
You
when
did.
we went to Packers and Raiders
Yeah.
out there.
Not a bad spot.
Amazing spot.
Yeah.
First off, just off of Fremont Street. So you're a block away from the experience, so you can kind of get away from a little bit of the craziness.
Sure.
They got great low limits. They also have maybe my favorite deal, which is a PBR and a hot dog for
$2.
$2.
$2. Great food deal there. Yeah.
So that was lunch all 3 days that I was there.
Can't go wrong. See, there's still ways to do it on the cheap. I love that. All right, question 5. In a standard game of Texas Hold'em poker, 3 community cards are dealt on the table after the first initial round of betting. What are these 3 cards traditionally called?
This is in Hold'em. Sorry.
Yeah.
The flop.
Flop is correct. Oh, whoops. Wrong one. Whoops. Sorry about that. I still do have
That's what happens when all of a sudden you hit there at the flop, and I'm like,
That's
I got an ace 2, and what are these 4, 8, 10 helping me out with?
Yeah. No, that's correct. 4 out of 5.
Come on now.
Just not good to know I still have the baby cry drop.
That is nice
All
to
right.
know.
According to basic blackjack strategy, you should always split a pair of what?
Eights.
I guess that's true. I have aces down, but I guess eights
Oh,
is
okay.
right.
Yeah,
Eights,
that's a good one. Yeah, aces. Absolutely.
I'm giving that to you. I'm giving it to you. 5 out of 6. You're doing well.
Oh, that
Jack.
was wrong. I got that wrong.
Well, I'm not sure you're not supposed to split eights, though.
Yeah, but I mean, if it's aces, yeah, I think I got that one wrong.
All right, fine.
People are also a little surprised when it comes in as Vegas, and they're like, "Well, if I would have known that, I would have went 8 out of 10." That's the part of this game.
Well, that's the whole.
That's
the
what's
whole
fun about it.
You don't know the topic. That's the whole point of why it's exciting because you don't know. So yeah, you never know what Billy's
Could have
gonna
been included.
4 out of 6. Well, you only have 4 so far. By number of rooms, this Las Vegas casino is the largest in the country. I'm sorry, hotel and casino is the largest in the country. By number of rooms.
By
Most
number
amount
of
room- Most
rooms.
amount of rooms, yeah.
Oh, MGM.
MGM Grand is correct.
Let's go.
I believe Venetian's bigger by space. I could be wrong.
I was
with it.
going to say by footprint,
Yeah.
I would say Venetian. I'd actually almost give Caesars a leg up on them in terms of footprint as well. But yeah, MGM has just a crazy amount of
Well,
rooms.
and that's one of those things.
Awesome spots.
Be honest with you, maybe that thing's changing all the time. Who knows? On average, like the leader.
Sure.
On average, how many weddings does Las Vegas host per day? 100, 300, 500, or 1,000? On
1,000 is a little ridiculous.
Well, these days, you
I
never
was
know.
one of
Love is
them.
in the air, Billy. You were one of them, so count one.
So in my years of being a C student, I was always taught that
Yes.
in multiple choice,
Right.
generally C is the number one answer. So I'm going to go with C. 500.
Sorry, it's B. 300.
That was always the second guess.
All right, Billy. This is sort of a history question. I don't know if you're going to know this, but we're going to try it. Name 3 of the 5 members of the famous Rat Pack who
Oh,
helped
God.
make Vegas famous when they entertained regularly at the Sands.
Dean Martin,
Dean Martin won, correct.
Frank
Frank
Sinatra.
Sin- okay, so you get the 2 easiest ones. All right, good. There's another one that you might get here. All right. Say 3 out of 5. I could have made it 4 out of 5.
Is John Wayne in that group?
Nah, it's
No.
not. He's not in the Rat Pack. I'll give you one more guess for the third one.
I don't. Tony Soprano. Should have been.
Sammy Davis Jr.
Sammy Hagar.
Sammy Davis.
Sammy Davis Jr. That's the one that is the street that's right behind.
Sure. Sammy Hagar is totally different.
Totally different guy. No,
Yeah.
Sammy Davis
Drive is there. Yeah.
is right behind Las Vegas Boulevard.
Joey
Okay,
Bishop, Peter Lawford.
I wouldn't have no clue. I would have guessed
Those are
those guys.
those are two
You could have
guys.
given me 1,800 guesses, and I would have gotten Peter Lawford.
Well, those are like the other guys. That's why I said 3 out of 5. To be fair, it would have said 4.
So those guys were just a part of the group.
They were part of the group. I mean, they were like the other guys. You
That's
know,
a good movie, by the way.
Yeah. Oh man.
The other guy's a good
Yeah.
slept on movie. All right, sorry. Where are we at?
5 out of 9. Who is the famous UNLV
not
basketball coach that led the Running Rebels to the 1990 NCAA championship?
Armenian
guy. Yeah, I'll give it to you. Tark is enough. Jerry Tarkanian's the
Tarkanian,
answer.
okay,
Yeah,
that's-
Tark's enough. If you know Tark the Shark, whatever you have it, way to go.
Had the
Billy.
towel over his arm.
Yeah, he bit the towel.
Always
on.
had the towel
Well, John Thompson had the towel over
the
his
shoulder. This
but
guy used to have the towel more over his
he
neck,
used to
right?
bite it. He used to bite the towel. That's why they called him the Shark. He used to bite the towel. So
That's
there you go,
awesome.
Billy. Well done. You got 6 out of 10, and I'm giving that to you. So
Chris,
well
in
done.
the, Chris in the pen. John freaking Wayne.
Hey, why not? You know, let me tell
As
you,
I said it, I was laughing at myself.
Jerry Tarkanian was a great coach, but he was a hero for Armenians. Okay.
Oh, hell yeah.
My dad wasn't a big sports fan, but when UNLV was on TV, we're watching.
He was ready to go.
We're watching Tark. Yeah.
I'm a Bucks fan or a Running Rebels fan. A lot of things that we're going to enjoying about the Las Vegas sun and sunshine and heat. A little whale hunting going on in the desert this weekend. Armin Sarian and myself will be heading to the promised land, Paradise, Nevada, in a couple of days from right now. We have a couple more Vegas things to get into. We also have a loss in the state of Wisconsin. That's a tough one. And one that might be getting talked about way too much. Bobby Marks, the man that we all needed yesterday on ESPN. That comes up in 15 minutes from right now before we start our investment hour with You Better You Bet, an update on You Better You Bet as well, and more ideas as to what the Sarian and Schmid Spectacular is going to be called right here in the 9 to noon time slot statewide on your home for Packers football 97.3 The Game Radio Network.
Accountant.
freaking night of my life. And wherever it takes me, I'm down for the ride. Baby, don't you know I'm good? Yeah, I'm feeling alright. 'Cause I'm good, yeah, I'm feeling alright.
Thanks for being with us on the NicoletLaw.com talking text line. I'm Billy Schmid, Armin Sarian by my side. We found out yesterday it's going to be these boys, us boys, rolling through the 9 to noon program going forward. However, after a long sit-down conversation with the bosses, a moment in which there's a lot of walking around, a lot of talking around, a lot of what are we doing here? Found out. Got to change the name, and we need some help. 877-794-1973. Now, John in Green Bay sending us a picture of his slip. We do like that. I mean, people have said slips could be an idea of the name. BA Sports Talk. A couple of different ones, like Grocery Store Mike, Greenfield Boys Talking Sports. There could be a way that we could bring in our Layton Avenue fight into this deal.
Right. I mean, we are both.
That will definitely be a part of the Midday Mayhem that will come up.
Well, it's the part of our convo with the Midday Mayhem. Yeah, it's part of our convo anyway. Greenfield Boys Talking Sports. Feel like that should have a boys with a Z. You know what I mean?
Would have to have a boys with a Z. JB in the 920 said maybe the show should be called The Other Guys.
Oh, I don't mind that. The other guys right there.
Could just call ourselves the OGs.
The OGs, the other guys, OGs. Yeah, that's not too bad. By the way, I got to get this in. We have a winner. A lot of people guessed 6 today for what does Billy know?
It's a good guess to fire
up. Johnny the Painter. I pulled his name randomly.
Let's go, Johnny
the Painter, way to go. Johnny the Painter, you'll be getting
$50 gift card, a free hour of simulator time to Tap In Golf Bar. Free hour of simulator time at Tap In Golf Bar, Waukesha and in Sussex. Check out tapingolfbar.com for more of that information. So good one there for Johnny the Painter. How about this one from B-Rad in the 262?
Yeah, let's get this one in. Okay.
Arguably.
What?
It's trying to say, sounds like arguably.
Wait, where is
the
this?
Best sports show? Similar to Best Damn Sports Show.
I feel that's too busy.
Period.
I feel yeah.
It also might be too busy because the host might not be able to get it out of his mouth.
Well, that's just a tough one. I mean,
because Sarian and Schmidt is already, the alliteration is I'm on the struggle bus at certain particular points in time. But I do like the idea of it. It has a little bit Best Damn Sports Show period to it, which is one of my favorite names of all time.
I used to love that show. There's so many here. I'm kind of like, it's just great how many people have texted in names. I'm just getting every time I find one, I'm getting lost.
414 says Iron Jock is a big supporter of the show. How about the supporter?
Yeah, there you go. The supporter.
I like that deal. I like that.
How about the jock strap?
That could work.
Carroll Pioneers and Marquette Warriors. Well, those are the names of the teams. That's not a show name. Maybe I don't know. Why not? Why not? Everything's possible. Mic drop.
Mike Drop could be a possibility. Okay. Program to Win by Jake and Waukesha. Program to Win with BS and AS.
Yeah, that's not bad. Some of these are funny. I don't want to read all of these here. Oh, okay.
The Cheap Seats.
The Cheap Seats. That was a great show. I used to love that show.
That was a great show back in the day.
9 to noon with the nerdy and the dirty. Why are you the dirty?
I do. I mean, I will. I'll wear the dirtiness for it.
I mean, clearly I'm the nerdy. So I said, what about Frat Pack? What about Stat Pack? Stat Pack that's for me and my
a lot of numbers we could fire on in here.
Yeah, why not? Okay, Breakfast Sports. That's not bad. Grocery Store Mike. Breakfast, but it's not really. We're not a morning show, right? I mean, that's not. We're midday more. So it's
midday morning though. 9 a.m. You're an early riser.
Well,
9 a.m. is a time when a lot of people are saying, you know what, that's when I'm waking up. Yeah. So there's a possibility there. There is some thoughts here, and we're taking all of your ideas on the NicoletLaw.com talk and text line. I do like the program.
Program's really good.
The program is potentially a leader in the clubhouse, along with the morning leftovers.
Average Bros.
Average Bros has a really good ring to it. I think what we got to do is we got to crowdsource and then potentially then just put it up on
as a poll.
Either on X
or let Mike do it, since maybe we give Mike the poll.
Could be a Mike Heller show poll as to what it fires into, or I mean, we're now big on Reddit,
huge on Reddit, and
our subreddit could ultimately be the ones that decide it. Father Figures by AAA Dante.
Father Figures, I like that. FF Father Figures, I like that. Not bad.
That's a decent one right there.
Above high expectations, says Aaron in Carolina. What about low expectations? I like to set.
I like to set the expectations.
I want to set them a lot lower and just try and reach those. That'd be a lot better. I think that'd be. Am I wrong in saying that?
I also think that this one from Leo in Milwaukee might be the best thing that you could fire
All right,
in.
let's walk off with this for this segment here.
The pause.
Yeah, the pause is really good.
Passionate Armin and unpredictable Schmidt experience.
Wow. Oh, it's an acronym.
It's an acronym.
I love
the
that.
pause. Passionate Armin, unpredictable Schmidt experience.
I like that. That's
There are a lot of unpredictable nature parts of this show. And you don't necessarily know, like when we're going to fire up and start up with a Bob Costas rant to start the show.
You never know.
You just don't know what you're going to be able to get. That's the unpredictable nature. You do know it's going to be passionate, and that's going to be the headliner of it.
Yeah, it's a stream of consciousness. You know, you never know what it's going to be. Sorry for Schmidden.
Sorry for Schmidden.
Tyler from Madison. Thank you.
There's a couple of fantastic ones there.
Morning. No, we're not doing that one.
What? We're taking favorites.
Yeah.
Morning Wood.
I like that. Yeah.
Taking
Taking
good?
Taking international soccer morning favorites. I like that.
Right. That's what we like to do over at the Potawatomi Sportsbook. We step to the
Load
Potawatomi
management.
Sportsbook soon. Well, load management might be changing here coming up because of some obviously changes that have happened to the landscape. And that will, how about drop the bass? Billy, Armin, Sari, and Schmidt. I think if we're doing that kind of acronym, we're going ass.
Yeah.
Armin, Sarian, and Schmidt.
4th and 26 is Leo Milwaukee. Get out of here.
Get out of here with that
outta
one.
here.
Come on. We can't be having that on the Brew City Breakdown. Danny in the 262. Keep them coming. 877-794-1973. That's the same talk and text line for caller number 5 to get in on week 10 in You Better You Bet. We got an update on You Better You Bet coming up on the other side of this timeout. And Bobby Marks is the man at the 4-letter network that we needed. Somebody needed to say what Bobby Marks finally did yesterday, and we'll bring it to you on the other side. That's Armin Sarian. I'm Billy Schmidt. Sarian and Schmidt statewide on the game.
Zero problems, big fella. Yup. If one more label try to stop me, it's gonna be some dreadhead in your lobby. You don't want no problem with me. You don't want no problem with me.
No problems in hour 3 as Armin Sari and myself, Billy Schmidt, roll with you statewide on the game. Join 97.3 The Game and the Green Bay Packers at Appleton Shields all day Tuesday, November 12th, as we broadcast live and in living color. We will be accepting toy donations to start out Toys for Tots as the holiday season fires up. Throughout the event, and Shields will be matching up to $5,000 in donations. Toys for Tots is one of the best organizations and one of the best deals that you can get a part of. Meet members of the Green Bay Packers throughout the day, plus enter to win a pair of Packers tickets as well. We'll see you Tuesday, November 12th at the Appleton Shields. Broadcasting all day long will 97.3 The Game be at the Appleton Shields. Little birdie tells me here, Armin Sarian, that it starts out with Zabin Butch.
How about
now,
that? Yeah.
That's a home game for Brian Butch at the Appleton Shields.
That's like the homecoming right there for Brian Butch. That's got to be a great feeling for Butch. And let me tell you, that was so fun last year. Wish we could.
You and I were having the most fun.
We were really loving that because that Shields is a beautiful store, man. You want to talk about the way a mall's supposed to look around Christmas. You want to talk about a paradise of a sporting goods store. That Shields is where it's at, man. That's what it's supposed to look like. You got product, you got jerseys, you got all kinds of stuff.
They had more jerseys than my fantasy football team has on like the pictures of the players. I mean, it was unbelievable, the selection.
Remind me of the good old days, Billy, when brick and mortar stores stocked stuff,
But then also double up, Armin. You mentioned in the holiday season.
Yeah.
In the spirit of the holiday season. That place was an electric factory last year.
Kind of, I'm
going to be honest. I'm very, very bummed out that we're missing this.
Obviously, we're on our trip during that time. We can't be there, but we wish we could be. Very bummed out we're missing it. Kind of sad about that. But
so during the day next week, it'll be Zabin Butch will be there starting up at 6 a.m. Mike Heller will be an early start time with Mike Heller.
Thank you.
From 10 to 2. He will also do Carry the G Radio with my guy Aaron Nagler from noon to 2. And then Drew and KB, a special 2:00 start time edition for them up at Shields in Appleton. Electrifying day, 6 to 6. The game will be there live November 12th. Come out and see us and donate to Toys for Tots because it's the holiday season. It's already starting up. It's going to be here so much faster than you even believe. And for there to be kids in the holiday season that are unable to celebrate the way that they should be is always heartbreaking around this time. And Toys for Tots does it right. Yeah. Being able to bring the spirit of the holiday season to everybody.
It's your chance to make a difference. It's your chance to really make some kids happy. And, think about that, right? Because that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. So think about helping. It's a small price to pay to make someone else's season. To make a young one's season.
And I'll be honest with you, it also is a good kickstart for me to say, should probably start thinking about some of those Christmas gifts.
Yeah, that's a great way to remind yourself it's time to start Christmas shopping so you're not panicked, pacing around a Walmart on the 23rd
or getting
for something.
Dogged by your wife.
Yes.
I got dragged the other day as my friend and I are on FaceTime, and he goes, what's Carson getting for Christmas?
You're like, I don't know.
Like, well, okay, it's buddy.
We don't have Thanksgiving yet.
It's election day.
We just finished.
You know what he's gonna get? He's gonna get a Cajun smoked turkey in about 3 weeks. Is that good?
Yeah, respect it.
Can we get past Thanksgiving? Can we get to Black Friday when some deals roll up?
But Allie said you should have been thinking about it already.
Allie goes, he'll be as surprised as Carson is.
Wow.
Very true. Very true. Wow. I think there'll be a lot of dads that are also sit there and watch the presents get opened up like, ooh, that's a fun toy.
Well, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, it is one of those things.
Dragged.
It is one of those things, you don't think about it. It happens. My niece is turning 6 this week. Laura and I went to
have a gift.
We went to Target to start shopping. You know how it goes when you go
in
to Target.
that front area. That little $1, $3 area.
I think she'll be happy with this pack of pencils.
Doesn't that seem awesome?
I think she'll be happy with this little Class B Roblox.
I like being able to hold this thing and have the little wheel spin around. Isn't that fun?
No. We gotta get the science set and the set and the coloring set and the Paw Patrol. I don't mind, of course, spending money on the need, but it's just one of those things where it's like, how much are you supposed to get? And you can't go into Target without spending so much money.
No.
Well, we need more diapers.
And you can't go into Target with the family and not expect it to be close to an hour excursion.
No, especially
because you know
now.
what we really should do?
Yeah,
we
what's
should
that?
definitely replace some of these doorknobs. They got a deal on them.
Oh, why not? I mean, hey, you know, we could use an electric tea kettle. You know?
So when was the last time we changed those blinds in the living room?
Yeah, when was the last time, Billy?
Because there's
Yeah.
one that's got a crack in it, and I'm kind of sick and tired of it.
Do you have to keep that old clock you had before we were married, Armin, before I moved in here? Like, do you have to have that
Yes, I
Schlitz
only know how to
clock?
tell time on it.
Yes, Laura, I got that Schlitz clock at a rummage sale. All right, and that means a lot to me. Gee, it doesn't. It just happened to be there.
It
Doesn't
just
work.
happens to be there. It happens to be awesome.
Doesn't work. Doesn't matter. I mean, who tells? No one uses a clock to tell time anymore.
We tried to teach one of the youngsters on the football team, the freshman that's playing with us on varsity.
How to tell time?
Yeah, it's been a struggle bus. Been a struggle bus. However,
Analog clock.
although he was real proud of himself when he looked over, they said, "All right, Rome, what time is it?" 3:45.
Wow.
3:45. Woo! Celebration time right there. All right, we're going to celebrate with
Good luck
You Better You
tomorrow
Bet
night.
coming up
Yeah.
in a few minutes from right now. I appreciate it. Thank
Yeah.
you. Well, listen, we'll bore you with a bunch of stories about the Warhawks going up and taking on McGuanago coming up tomorrow. But before we do that, Bobby Marks yesterday on ESPN, Four Letter Network has been pushing this for quite some time. We already know that they've wanted to see Giannis Antetokounmpo on a different team in the NBA. Now, a 1-6 start, Armin, lends itself to Scott Van Pelt and Tim Legler talking about how bad the Bucks are. Stephen A. Smith griping about maybe they should have traded Dame Lillard. He clearly doesn't like it. Kendrick Perkins saying, doesn't Giannis have blood on his hands? He's got to sit here and live in this.
Everybody's jumping on,
So
piling
everybody's
on.
got their takes.
Yeah.
Everybody's got their ideas as to where Giannis plays basketball, because clearly it's not going to be in Milwaukee if they're 1-6. Well, Bobby Marks, front office savant, finally says the words to Malika Andrews yesterday on NBA Today that people have been waiting for in the city.
Oh. You don't say.
Yay!
You don't say.
Finally, somebody has the gall to say it, Armin.
You don't say for the 90 millionth time. It ain't happening. Once
So
again,
quit asking.
every time the Bucks lose 2 in a row for the last 10 years, we have to have everyone is monitoring season. The things could go bad. We're
Unreal.
watching closely. Maybe they'll want to leave. And you know what disappointed me the most this time, Billy, is this time we had Bucks fans doing the same thing. This time Bucks fans themselves were complicit in Billy.
They have been.
And I understand we want to always, be worried. Oh, woe is us. It's going
Gotta
to
be
happen to us.
vigilant as to what could happen.
Another fan fiction fetish put to rest for another few months until someone brings up this nonsense again. Never from Giannis, never from anyone with the Bucks ever said he wanted to leave, but we always have to do this. So there you go. Thank you, Bobby Marks. But
Thank
this
God.
time, Bucks fans were complicit, and that's what disappointed me the most. Giannis has shown nothing but loyalty to us. He's never once said he wanted to leave. He's talked about the importance of winning. He's talked about it's not about the lobsters. He's
Nope.
talked about it's urgent, but he's never once said I'm going to want to get out. He's never said that, okay? And until he does, and I've said it before, I've been getting clowned for it. You're so naive, Armin. You're so this. Until he says it, I'm not going to believe it, and he hasn't said it. And once again, none of this stuff. We're going to dig out of this thing. We're going to work to get out of this and try and
roll
win,
up our sleeves.
and roll up our sleeves and try and win, which is what we've been talking about in the first place.
It's get to work season, right?
Thank you.
And both of the parties are saying that now. It's get to work season. It's get to work season for the Milwaukee Bucks. Now, do I believe, Armin, that there is somebody potentially in Giannis's corner saying,
think about this,
might
think
be
about
easier
that.
to go somewhere else, right? Might be easier to go do this, that, and the third. I don't think that there's not, right? I do believe there's somebody in his corner that could potentially be pushing that idea to him. However, I think the most important and influential people in his life, and again, I don't know the guy from Adam. I just be able to listen to his dad jokes on Instagram.
Correct. We don't
and watch
know
him play awesome basketball.
Right. I mean, it's fool to think
Still
we know
right
him.
now be one of the top 3 players in the game.
Agree. I mean, he's playing hard. He's playing well,
Really, the people that have seemingly had his ear for a large portion of this time and for the longest time in his time in Milwaukee playing for the Green and Cream, has been Thanasis.
Yes.
And has been his now wife. The now wife potentially could, as somebody that grew up in California, people have always thought, oh, he's going to want to go to the Lakers, going to want to go here, going to want to go there. They got 3 or 4 kids now. And they've lived here now for a decade. So, and before we start continually pushing him to either Miami, now the more offensive part of it, Armin, and you said it was because of Bucks fans. The more offensive part to me was the second team listed was the freaking Brooklyn Nets.
Yeah, come on, dude. Come on.
The Brooklyn Nets?
Come on. Yeah, Billy.
Nobody has ever dreamed of growing up and saying, you know what I want to do? Play for the Brooklyn Nets.
And to me,
people that live in Brooklyn want to go play for the Knicks. Nobody thinks, you know what my life is going to be in the second half of my NBA career?
Going to Brooklyn.
I'm going to go live in Brooklyn.
Right.
I'm going to go play at Barclays. No, you're not going to go sit in a dingy lit arena where Kevin Durant couldn't get you out of the second round and then say, you know what? That's where I think I want my basketball life to go. You know what that does? It goes to die. You might as well do that with one team. If you're going to go to the freaking Brooklyn Nets, why not stay here?
Yeah, Billy, it gets exhausting.
Tim Duncan never asked for a trade.
No, it just gets
Dirk
exhausting.
Nowitzki never asked for a trade.
But no one's talked about them all the time asking for one. I mean, the Sixers have had just as bad a start as the Bucks. Why aren't people constantly doing that there with Tyrese
Karl
Maxey?
Anthony Towns and Mikal Bridges and 5 first-round picks doesn't move the needle for you? No thanks, 414. I've watched Karl Anthony Towns. I don't need to watch him here in Milwaukee and pay him $62 million and let Giannis go play in New York.
It's just
that's not what I'm interested in doing. Sorry.
It's exhausting when it's just fan fiction. It's just fan fiction that people keep making up to entertain themselves, I guess, or to make.
You know what the dream of those 5 first-round picks is? You know what the dream of those 5 first-round picks is? To find Giannis.
To find Giannis. You got him.
You got one. So quit asking. And I'm so glad that finally somebody on the 4-letter network had the gall and had the balls to come on out here and say it ain't happening.
To report facts, Billy.
So quit asking.
To report facts, not to fill time with the same old tired nonsense. Here's my thing, Billy. Here's the other thing. One day it might happen. I'm not naive to that fact that he might play somewhere else. But I'm not going to say that right now when he hasn't said it. And he just signed a contract extension. Billy, all these things could have been true. Why did he sign a contract extension? Like, come on, give me a break. No,
especially why sign a contract extension that didn't pay him the most money.
No,
he signed it a year early, so he wouldn't have to have the conversations. But they're going to fire up. People are going to have him because they're desperately want him in a different market than this one. But joke's on you guys. He's right here. Playing for the 1-6 Milwaukee Bucks, who take on the 1-6 Utah Jazz here tonight.
Let's figure it out.
Come on, let's figure it out.
Let's start with 1 win, and then let's try and get 2. And if we get 3, that's called a winning streak, and let's get it going. All right.
That's what I'm talking about. Let's start winning.
You better bet your life.
You better bet that you bet is sticking around right here on the game. You got to beat the guys to eat with the guys at the end of the season celebration, which we are fired up to have with all of you. Whoever is the winner, whoever finally gets themselves to and through the postseason, going to have themselves an extreme elite dining experience with, whatever the show is to be named at that particular point in time.
Right.
Whether it's the Average Bros, whether it's the Hot Mess Express. Or the Corps.
My favorite. Oh, Corps not bad.
Now, some people might think that we are, the Marine Corps.
I don't know.
I don't think anybody is thinking you and I are in the Marine Corps.
No, respect what they do, but
love
I'm not in it.
And respect. I have no way.
Yeah.
The kind of intestinal fortitude.
A different skill set.
That's a good way.
I have a different skill set than that.
It's a good way of putting it. I know that I am just too soft. Now on the NicoletLaw.com talking text line, somebody that's ready to dominate and hand in winners. And you better you bet. Armin Sarin, who's on the line right now on the NicoletLaw.com talking text line.
Former winner of You Better You Bet, Andy in Brookfield. Andy, good friend. Good to hear from you again, brother. How are you? Hope all is well.
Returning champion, Andy.
Yeah, doing great.
All right, you ready to dominate here with your first pick? What do we got?
Yeah, we're going to go with the Ravens tonight. I think they're going to make Cincinnati pay for what Cleveland did to them last week.
Going to make them pay.
Good time to get in because it's your last chance to grab. The Ravens laying 6. Certain places may have it at 5.5 right now. This is the Joe Burrow game, Armin, because last year Burrow gets knocked out in this game. Also, Mark Andrews got knocked out in this game. He comes back right in time for them to lose in the postseason there in Baltimore. But a lot of people liking the Ravens with some alternate purple helmets tonight.
Yeah, the alternate helmets. I know we talked about the all red for the Texans. Oh, here we go. New uniforms.
Perps.
The thing is, I told you this. We talked about it. This game could go either. I'd stay away because it could go either way. But I could definitely see the Ravens covering. They look really good.
Andy, I'm with you. I like it a lot. What's your second pick?
We're going to go with the Bills.
Buffalo Bills laying 4. Now, this feels like the free money of the weekend.
I love this pick.
This feels like a line that has to stink on ice. I don't know why. Bills have traveled a lot over the last couple of weeks. They've flown to Seattle, and then they went here, and then they had the game all the way back against Miami, and now they're in Indianapolis. They get the Chiefs next week. Maybe there's a look ahead, Armin. Or maybe we're just overlooking the easiest win of the weekend.
-4, and it's at -108. You even get a little bit of discount there if you want it. I don't get this one, Billy. I agree. I think the Bills are going to win. I think they're going to cover. I love this pick.
Andy, what's your third pick?
I'm going to pick the Patriots. The Bears are just becoming the Bears we all know and love.
They're getting 6 points here.
And I also like Armin backing Drake May. He's a fun guy to invest on.
My
man is an electric factory of 3 and outs for certain portions of the game.
And then he just goes nuts.
And then just a couple of the more miraculous plays at the end of the game you're going to find. Doesn't get a chance to go win. Had a chance to go tie it and potentially win it. This past weekend, throws it like 65 yards down the field, picked off in overtime. But an amazing touchdown to tie the thing and send it to OT. I like Drake May.
Yeah,
I'm a fan of this one.
Yeah, Drake's in his feelings sometimes, and let's see what happens.
I also like the third pick of the NFL draft going up against the number 1 pick in the NFL draft there at Soldier Field in a noon boom coming up this weekend. All right, Andy, fourth pick. What do you got?
We're going to go with the Eagles over Dallas.
EAGLES Eagles down in Dallas, laying 7 for Barkley and the boys against the Cowboys. Sans Dak Prescott, he goes to IR with the hamstring injury this week.
Okay. Yeah, no doubt about it. This should be an interesting one, but
Philadelphia has their own problems, but
7's a lot of points, though, Billy.
It is. However, Dallas has been brutal the last number of weeks.
At home, too. I mean, they have.
Yeah, and at home is where they give up like 35 a game, which might be even more of the clear reason why you go with the EAGLES Eagles. All right, final pick. Is this the lock, Andy? Where are we headed for it?
Yeah, this is my lock, and this pick goes out to Brenton Franklin. He posed the challenge to me. He challenged me to become the first 2-time winner between me and him. So I want to see him in the playoffs. So I'm going to lock in his Detroit Lions.
That's great.
All right, there we go.
I love this one, too. You know, I know Billy tried to get me scared about the red Texans uniforms.
All red, baby.
I wouldn't be scared of anything if I was the Lions, except can we get, back on this bus? Because they're going to win this game, and they're going to cover it. I really believe that, Billy. The Lions look so good right now. And I'm not saying that just to make myself feel better as a Packer fan. But I think it would make me feel better.
I was going to say it probably does make you feel better,
If they went out and blew out the Texans, it made me feel great. And then going into this bye week. So that's what I'm hoping for.
And that is, I love the fact that Andy is trying to use Brenton Franklin's favorite team against him to be the one that meets him there in the playoffs. I'm a big fan of that.
And we're excited for this game, Billy. It's Sunday night. We're both going to be locked in watching this game.
Oh, dialed in.
And we're betting the over.
And potentially on different sides, definitely betting the over of 49. Andy, love these investments. Appreciate it as always. And hopefully we look forward to seeing you in the playoffs. Tune in on Tuesday to see how you do, all right?
Sounds good. Talk to you guys soon.
That's Andy in Brookfield hanging out with us here on the NicoletLaw.com talk and text line.
You said different sides. You like the Texans on it?
I do like the Texans.
Wow.
I do like the Texans.
Makes me now I'm second guessing myself.
Part of the reason why I like the Texans is I don't think the Lions, even with Zadarius Smith coming in here on 5 days rest,
can stop the run.
I don't think that they can get enough pressure on CJ Stroud like teams have over the last couple of weeks.
Right.
Their offensive line is letting people in left and right. I mean, like their offensive line was looking like that security guard at the concert. That's just, all right, go. All right, go. However, what they got going on there in Houston and what they're going to be going up against for Detroit, it wasn't the pressure outside of the one pick six where 2 guys just get beat like a drum.
Sure.
Where they really didn't get a whole lot of consistent pressure. And I think that's the issue. And I also like catching 3.5.
Well,
you want to talk about a system play. I like 3.5.
You know me. I'm taking Lions, but I'm buying the half point. So
you'll be buying that half point. We'll see where it's at.
Don't you know you always buy the half point?
You always got to.
Don't
You
you
always
know?
got to. Although our boy Steve Fezzik says a little contrary to
Well,
it.
I know that, but
He ain't
this
happy
is-
with us for being able to buy that half point. But we're still gonna buy it. So quit asking.
I'm not. We have different motivations when we bet. Me and Steve Fezzik.
I was
okay?
gonna say you and the guy that just dropped $28,000 to win $100. A little bit different styles.
Listen, I mean, yes, okay, yes, and here's the other thing. My units are a little smaller than Mr. Fezzik's.
Pause.
So if I lose and I don't
talk
have
about
the
your
right
unit
line,
like that.
I'm not as worried about it. Okay.
People are going to be racing to the NicolayLaw.com talk and text line to throw Armin's unit into the potential name for the new 9 to Noon program that is rolling on here on your radio. Find your ways to throw it on there. 877-794-1973. We'll run through a couple more of these awesome leaders in the clubhouse, as well as somebody's already getting sick and tired of being a head coach in the NBA. Someone's already sick and tired of answering questions as a head coach in the NBA. Who could have seen this coming? It's still 9 to Noon with Armin and Billy right here on the Game.
I was thinking about her.
now tuned into the greatest. Turn the music up in the headphones. Tim, you can go and brush your shoulders off. I got you. Yeah. If you feeling like a pimp, nigga, go and brush your shoulders off. Ladies is pimps too, go and brush your shoulders off. Niggas is crazy, baby, don't forget that boy told you, kid. Yeah, turn up your shoulders. I probably owe it to y'all.
Welcome back to the game. Armin Sarian, Billy Schmid, Sarian and Schmid statewide on the game. It's still 9 to noon right now. We're taking all of your suggestions on the NicoletLaw.com talking text line for what the new show could potentially be named. And we are not guaranteeing that we are going to be able to select it off of one of these. However, there are too many good names, like the Fat Man and the Stat Man.
That's really good.
That's a really good one. There's way too many good ones for, I believe, personally, the new name not to come from the NicoletLaw.com.
I tend to agree. I mean,
like it's pretty solid.
Well, this is a great that we empowered our listeners to do this because we have some great names. I don't think 262 we're going with Dumb and Dumber, but thank you for the.
I don't hate that though.
Well, I don't hate it. I'm just saying. Now we got people drawing up logos for us.
That
right?
we like. How about Terry from Ripon? If you're in Minneapolis, you could just call it the empty trophy case.
That'd be great. That's what I want. That's what I got. Space.
The empty Vikings trophy case.
That's my favorite, Terry. That's what I want, Terry. That is absolutely awesome.
That would be fantastic.
Now, I like the Hit Squad. Who gave us this one? It was Jim in Green Bay, but you got to spell my name right.
Okay.
It's okay.
There we go.
You.
Now we're talking.
Armin's not a normal one to spell. Okay. Ring the alarm. That I don't know because like what the fire drill or like what the ring the alarm, the off-air alarm.
Yeah.
On air with Armin and Billy.
Chad and the OC, quiet before the storm. Billy is the calm voice and Armin is the storm, always waiting for Armin to get heated.
I kind of like that.
I actually don't mind that at
all.
all.
How about the Quiet Storm? Sounds too much like one of those like Delilah dating shows, the Quiet Storm, the dedication shows.
That does have a good Delilah feel to it, which is actually, I don't know that I've ever told you about this. That was the job I wanted to have when I first got into radio.
Is Delilah?
Was to have Delilah's Love Connections late night show.
That was awesome. I'm not gonna lie. I used to live, but because I'm a little younger, I'm older than
Calling
you. Calling
out your long distance connections here tonight. It is a beautiful night to be in love. Could you imagine how much fun that would be?
Oh, I love that stuff.
Just making long-term connections all over the place, Casey Kasem style.
I used to love those. I used to listen to those shows all the time in the 90s.
That long distance dedication with Casey Kasem was always a banger.
Delilah.
You knew that you were in love when he called Delilah about you. You knew that was a serious one. Radio show with Billy and Armin. We're a highly successful sports talk show.
Let's not get the facts mixed up here.
Let's not get these facts mixed up. We're a highly successful sports talk radio show. Terry from Ripon, Recess with Billy and Armin because it's the best part of your day.
Recess isn't bad.
I actually don't mind that. It also is a nice little shout out to my guy Stuart Scott.
How about the playground or the blacktop? Recess.
The blacktop's not a bad idea.
Jungle gym. Oh, I don't know. I guess you're probably the playground. The play set. Let's call it.
I also like the Brunch Bros. We are big fans of the Average Bros.
Brunch
now,
Bros.
Will we get at a certain way if we call ourselves?
That's a great question. That's something I did have some concern with. Bro.
Since I can remember, I'm on top of my collar. So I don't know if indeed that would lend itself to us being bros. I would also drop potentially a Z on the end of bros.
With the bros for the Z.
I'm a big fan of
the
what
Shaq
that could
boys,
be.
right? I don't know. There's a lot of great, so many great.
180 minutes is always going to be a possibility. Chris in Green Bay is firing this one up. Touchdowns and love. Football for Billy, tennis for Armin.
That's not bad, but again, it sounds like Delilah. It sounds like we're going touchdowns and love.
The lock is in with Billy and Armin show in Green Bay.
Touchdowns and love. We take your greatest stories of special someone between the lines.
Under the bleachers. Wherever your love story starts.
Are you ready to relax? Are you ready to let your night just melt away? Just take back and relax. And let's hear the best stories of love and sports.
Share a night of love and dedications,
touchdowns and love.
Romance with all of you.
The Quiet Storm. We did that. You know what? If things ever happen, we can be versatile. We can stay in the format, Billy. We can
Definitely
switch
good.
formats and do that. The quiet storm, medications, water rumblings.
All right.
Right.
Huge fan of the
Jeff
Heller opening act.
Hey, do the opener for Heller. Why
We
not?
can do the opener in the bleachers with is also another possibility.
Eddie the Falconer, stop that now. Oh, I think he meant the music. My bad.
He meant our music and our long
yeah.
distance dedication.
That's
That could be a possibility.
Maybe, I don't know. Pick a lane. That's kind of Dudes on Dudes already taken.
I wish
Sports
Dudes on
roulette.
Dudes was not already taken.
Sports roulette. We could just start with
Spin the wheel,
Let's
baby.
have the
Figure
wheel.
out where it
Yeah.
goes.
Aiming and banging with Billy and Armin, says Jake. Pause. Aiming and banging. I don't know if that's 3 hour ads. That's not an infomercial. I don't think that's.
Also, no way I'm doing ads for 3 minutes, let alone 3 hours.
I've never seen abs on my body. I know they're down there somewhere, but I've never actually seen them. BS in the morning.
Feature on the pipe.
Yeah, I like that.
He's
little
trying to
pipe.
drop a little pipe into the mix here as well.
Yeah,
Okay.
up the middle with the boys.
That has definitely got some connotations.
Up the middle. Temp bros. Was it temp as in temperature or temporary? I don't know.
That is fair. Yeah, that could have 2 meanings to it right there.
Like the temp agency, bro. Like temp bros.
Well, maybe that's what JJ Redick's calling himself as the head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers. Because there might be a temporary situation for it at this particular point. Last night, after the Lakers, after the Grizzlies beat down the Lakers 131 to 114 yesterday, Desmond Bain had crashed their post-game interview laughing, stealing the ball from LeBron James. It was just a hilarious night. However, LeBron played well. And JJ Redick, after the game, after LeBron scored 39, a season high, said, I think LeBron was fantastic tonight. Biggest thing that stood out, he played hard, almost 40 years old, and played the hardest on our team. It says a lot about him. Hold on, JJ.
There you go.
Hold on, JJ.
There you
What
go.
did you just say? He played harder than anybody else on the team. Okay. Well, JJ also had a nice little shot at D'Angelo Russell when asked why he played a season low 38 or 22 minutes. He said just his level of attention to detail. Some of the things we've talked about him with for the last couple of weeks, other times it's just reverting back to certain habits. It's not like it was a punishment. It just felt like if we had a chance to win this game, that was the route we had to take. Oh, man.
Wow.
Okay, JJ. So you got a player that's not playing as hard as he needs to.
Right.
You got a 40-year-old superstar playing harder than anybody else on the team.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you correct this? I mean, how are we just 1-2 weeks into your illustrious NBA head coaching career at 4-4? What are you going to do to correct this issue with the LA Lakers? Walks and storms off.
Wow.
Okay, JJ Redick. Okay. 8 games in, he's storming off from press conferences.
I mean, he really thinks he's cool, doesn't he?
8 games in, Armin.
Yeah, he really thinks he's cool. I mean, he really thinks he's funny and cool and edgy and all these things by just dropping the mic and
He
storming
is
out.
10%. Not even.
No, not even.
Not even 10% of the way through his first season.
He's already getting annoyed with the press and the media and the questions.
And he had just come from the media.
I don't know.
That is awesome. That is so beautiful. You know that there's going to be a lot
of this
of
right?
coverage of
It's
it.
gotta
It's
be.
the Lakers.
Yeah.
It's LeBron. It's also now a guy that worked at ESPN.
Yes.
So they're going to be even more involved in the coverage of it. And we're going to get to watch that thing completely burn up.
I think so,
I
too.
love LeBron James. I know a lot of people laugh at it.
Right.
However, I mean, this is running into an unmitigated disaster.
Well, it is sort of, there's like a car crash aspect to it that it's like, this might be entertaining. I totally understand what you're saying. Now, I don't know if he thought he was doing this for a certain reason. I don't know how he's going to ultimately be as a coach, but I tend to agree with you, Billy, that there's going to be an aspect to that.
There's going to be an aspect to watching this thing explode.
Yeah.
And the most discussed team that might finish with like 38 wins.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
I mean, if there's going to be a team that goes under 500 and is talked about more than them, I'll be stunned. And I will have my hand raised in air that I did not anticipate it would happen. because there are a ton of teams that have star power. There's a ton of teams that have underachieved, none of which have brought more attention upon themselves going into a year that could potentially go as poorly as it is for the LA Lakers. I mean, you counted on Anthony Davis playing 75 games like he did last year.
Yeah.
That is not something to count on.
I would agree with you there, Billy. So we'll see how this thing goes, and we'll see how many more press conferences old cool guy JJ storms out of,
Cool guy JJ is going to have himself some issues. He's going to be a little bit frustrated. Jess, man, on deck with Billy and Armin represents that you guys are the second show of the day.
On deck's all right. I like that.
The point after with Billy and Armin.
So, yeah, okay. The
More
point
football
after.
style.
No, I don't mind it. These are all good names. The point after.
The pre-breaking news show from Benny in York, PA might be the best suggestion that we've been able to get here on the Talking Text line. We'll finish them up and we will round third, head for home, and we'll hand it off to Hollywood Lance Allen, who is going to be in for the Mike Heller show coming up today alongside Nick Bruzowitz. That's Armin Sari, and I'm Billy Schmid. This is still 9 to noon with Sarian and Schmid right here on The Game.
Relax, let me do it how I wanna. If you got it, I need it, and I'ma put it down. Fuck the love, I'ma give it to you strong. Come on, turn the radio on. It's Friday night and I won't be long. Gotta do my hair, put my makeup on. It's Friday night and I won't be long till I hit the dance floor.
Thanks for hanging out each and every day. That's Armin Sari and I'm Billy Schmid. We're inside the Iron Jock Studios, ironjoc.com, always putting together elite deals for you. And now through November 10th, when you buy 2 polo shirts, and Iron Jock will throw in a performance short sleeve t-shirt for free, Free free. That's my favorite. When you use promo code POLO, you'll get that $40 performance tee for free. Just throw that t-shirt in your cart. It'll automatically get marked down to free when you enter in promo code POLO, POLO, at Iron Jock. Go to ironjock.com for more details, ironjoc.com. I don't know exactly if this falls under the category of breaking news, Armin, but they put the big breaking underneath it in a side-by-side picture of On3 Sports that this weekend for College Game Day, as Alabama will take on LSU.
Yeah.
We're like the 5th time LSU's been a home dog. They're a 3-point home dog to Alabama this weekend. You want to guess who the celebrity guest pickers? Now, usually this is a solo job.
Okay.
Celebrity guest pickers.
Where is this again? I'm sorry.
It is in Baton Rouge.
Baton Rouge, okay.
At LSU.
I'm trying to think of
the
LSU.
Celebrity guest pickers on College Game Day.
Okay. A couple? Or pick it's a couple? And
it's a couple.
Is it Hawk Tua girl?
And it's in Baton Rouge.
Oh.
Are you kidding me? It's Livy Dunn and Paul Skeens.
Okay, yeah.
You thought they were going to bring Hawk Tua girl in?
I don't know. I was hoping.
Well, you were Disney show.
It's the way you were looking at me. You're getting all excited and everything like that.
I mean, I don't know. We've only talked about Livy Dunn a decent amount on this program. Definitely talked about a lot about Paul Skeens on this program.
I guess LSU. I guess
LSU, both studs,
right?
Both national champions at LSU.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
I also just think if you're betting the Bayou Bengals, you would like that deal.
I don't. Contrary to popular belief, maybe for some people and you, Billy, I don't think about Livy Dunn 24 hours a day.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I thought you were subscribed to the Pages account. I don't know.
No, I don't. So I wasn't like thinking about that all the time. That's cool though. Yeah. Celebrity pickers. They're coming as a couple, right?
They'll be there as a couple. I would assume that they potentially are going to be on the McAfee show because that's generally what they end up doing once somebody ends up being named the celebrity guest picker. That's a fascinating one. I love that show. It is an institution in college football.
It is. It's fun to watch. I watch it almost every Saturday.
It continues to get better. It's getting better.
Right.
Now, I appreciate and love Lee Corso, and that homage that they paid to him down in Bloomington, Indiana was spectacular. So I love the fact that he was there for that.
Yeah.
And Nick Saban has just been an amazing addition to that program.
I would agree. No doubt about it. It's fun to hear.
Did you see him swear on the air this week?
I heard about it. I didn't see it, though. I heard about it. I heard like
they bring the food out. He goes, "What is this, bleep?"
Yeah. It was just great.
Deep fried, hard boiled egg.
It's the same.
Try that bad boy.
Same reason we're enjoying Belichick right now. It's fun to see these guys out of their element a bit, right? Or not out of their element, but out of their normal personality, that we would normally see out of them. What we think about.
Oh, so you don't think that we would have normally seen Bill Belichick dressed for Halloween with a mermaid while he was coaching the Patriots?
Man, I thought that was cringe, but everyone else liked it. So I guess I'm cringe.
Everybody else gave Bill a lot of respect, and you're sitting over here saying, "How sad is that?"
I just can't. He's got to wonder, actually, maybe it's not sad. I really don't know what to think of it. All I know is it's felt unusual. But hey,
very much unusual. I'll give you that answer.
You want to catch the mermaid, and that's your Halloween cut? Why not?
Catch that mermaid, Bill. Go out there and catch that mermaid. It's just 262.
I don't know.
Man, why is Armin so obsessed with the Hawk Tua girl?
I think she's funny.
It's not because no,
it's not.
Probably subscribes to her.
I don't subscribe
page. I don't know that she has one.
I don't subscribe to anyone's page but Ken Pomeroy. All right.
Hey, there we go, Ken Pom.
Thank you. That's the only
in action tonight.
That's the only one I subscribe to.
Have you been able to get in on some of that sweet action with Ken Pom so far as we've started out the college basketball season?
You're in on Ken Pom now?
Oh, have you used any for your investments?
I haven't had a chance yet. Haven't been able to get down to Potawatomi this weekend. I'm assuming we're going to be in the desert. We're going to be whale hunting, Billy. So hopefully I can, you'll see me digging in deep on that line of all these games and every conference. With my pencil. I'm one of these old school guys. He only takes the pencil out with the big sheet. He gets the sheet at the sports book. He takes his pencil out, starts marking the games he likes.
Oh, that's what I'm talking
Oh,
about.
yeah.
We
Oh,
need
yeah.
we need to be digging in as hard as possible on some of these winners for
I'm
this
fired up
weekend as
for
we
it.
head to Las Vegas. I cannot wait. I like this one here from our texter, Texas Hank. Now, we've been able to go back and forth with Texas Hank a couple of times. He had said that, he wants to be a part of the club earlier on in his first couple of texts. Just a couple of weeks ago, he started listening
You're in,
to
man.
97.3 The
Yeah.
Game. He said, came in late to the show name game, but I got a couple. Sorry and Schmid, the final whistle. Now, if we were the afternoon show, that'd be fantastic.
Yeah, but we're not the final whistle. Yeah, that'd be
Beyond the
good.
box score with Armin and Billy.
I like that, but
I don't hate that one as well.
that feels like a stories behind sports type of
Game
thing.
changers. Sorry and Schmid. I also like game breakers because I like playing NFL Street.
See, that's the thing. It just reminds you of NFL Street and the
You got
crucible.
a game breaker.
That's the crucible of time of you growing up. Just
I
like
don't
I
know,
talk
TJ
about
Watt's
the
a game breaker.
Well, I
There's
understand he
game
is.
breakers in football right now.
Yes, but we're talking about the show, Billy. We're talking about the show. You know what I mean?
I like to think that we're game breaking in sports talk radio.
Well, because this is the game, and we're game breaking. Was that the idea?
No, that
Like
was not the idea, but I like it even better.
You
now.
know, because the thing about that.
That's
okay?
dangerous. You start saying things and you start liking the ideas even better. Dudes on dudes, still an elite name.
I just
that we
don't-
just can't take.
Derek and Watoma, I don't know if we're going with the jock straps. I don't know.
I don't know that one's gonna pass through legal.
I don't think that's what's happening here. with
But I mean,
us.
if we can get ass Armin Sari and Schmid passed, I mean, I think we might be able to.
Pause.
I think we might be able to get that passed.
I-
You also said give Mike the poll earlier on today, which is a good pause-worthy moment.
Yeah.
NickLayLaw.com talking text line called you on that, but for just one thing, one final thing here, Armin Sarian. What do we got here today on a
Just-
very raucous edition of 9 to Noon?
Yeah, just one thing brought to you by Best Electric. Connect with the best, bestelect.com. If it's just one thing or if it's everything, just Best Electric. Connect with the best. All right. Mickey the Fitz is really mad at me every time we don't read his text.
Oh, come on, Mickey.
Every time he just gets so
Hey,
angry.
Mickey.
He just gets so frustrated that I don't read his text. So I'm here to do this for you. Just one thing, Mickey the Fitz. Whatever you texted, I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna spend the time to search for your text and to see what you texted
Well, that's
here.
just so nice of you.
No, I'm not. I can't find it. See, I had it and I can't find it. This is what happens, Mickey. All right, when you put the pressure on me to try and find the text, hold on. It's gonna be one more second. This is what happens. Sorry,
This is what
everybody.
happens. You want to know what happens? You want to know what happens
All right.
when you mess with this man, Armin Sarian, today?
How about Armin and the Hammer? Thank you, Mickey. There you go.
Pause.
I'm the Hammer.
I don't need to know about your hammer.
I'm Armin Hammer. That's the Hammer. You get it? So it wouldn't work.
I don't know why
Well,
we're
you-
talking about your arm or your hammer
People,
like this.
KB
It's-
asked me yesterday, what was your nickname in college? I said the Hammer. Armin Hammer.
Wow, that's a heck of a name right there. I don't know what you were doing at McCormick Hall, but
Hey, I didn't
Goodness
live in McCormick, but I
well,
knew
you spent
people.
time in
I spent
McCormick.
time
It
in
sounds
McCormick,
like
baby.
Sounds like the hammer is spending a lot of time in McCormick. Now,
My-
this is all the things that I'm excited to be able to dig into more on this brand new
Yeah.
show that we are rolling through. That's Armin Sarian. I'm Billy Schmid.
Lance is next. with
Lance
Nick.
Allen is next with Nick Brusewitz in for the Mike Heller Show. We'll hand it off to them on the other side and try to be better tomorrow. Sorry and Schmidt on the game.